What's up, everybody? Who's ready? Queso Cup Teams Edition 2023 kicks off into our championship, our playoffs, our finals. 4 days of Clash Royale, and it all starts right here, right today, right with you and with me. I see Soul Summer in the chat saying, looking for group. LFG, let's go. Well, I know we have 4 players or 4 teams who are looking to advance along in our bracket. We have 2 matches today. We have 6 teams overall in our playoffs. And our first 2 matches will be teams who are trying to stay in the upper bracket of, like I said, this 4-day double elimination event. The final big event here of our 2023 Clash Royale year. $35,000 overall on the line. And we are here today, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday for a double elimination bracket, best of 5 for all of these matches. We'll talk about the actual match format in just a little bit. And we are, of course, on both Twitch and YouTube today. Shout out to everybody who's joining us so far. I'm excited to be here with you. Let me go ahead and repost our live stream links. Here we go. Looking at the bracket for today. Team Queso will be facing Strangers, and CALALAS will be facing CHIVAS ESPORTS. Tribe Gaming and PUIGINS finishing overall this year in number 1 and number 2, meaning they get that first round bye. They get an extra little jump forward, not having to worry about sacrificing potentially that free loss. This bracket is pretty interesting, though, because the winners of upper bracket round 1 and 2 will go ahead and join Tribe and PUIGINS, and then the losers will go down and face the teams that lose today. So it is kind of a tough bracket. And we should be starting with gameplay here in just a little bit. Jeff Wenson says, am I dreaming Mega Draft yesterday and now Queso Cup? Love your stream, Twitch. Thank you very much for being here. Sventh saying, let's go Queso. We'll see if they can put it together. It is not an easy competition by any means. It is certainly a big challenge here. Today we'll be doing upper bracket round number 1. Tomorrow, upper bracket round 2. Friday, the lower brackets round 1 and round 2. And then Saturday, the upper bracket finals, lower bracket finals, and the grand final. Lots of Clash Royale to be played. All of it right here on the most fun place for Clash Royale esports, youtube.com/RedSlayton. What could they possibly do for the Valk Evo? Maybe she throws her thing. Oh, here we go. We are already into gameplay. So let's go ahead and jump right in to game number 1 of Strangers versus Team Queso, with EGW as the leadoff hitter for his squad. King of the Hill, 1v1 duel mode, King of the Hill, 1v1 duel mode, and King of the Hill again if necessary for sets 4 and sets 5. You see each team does get 1 global banned card. So that means Little Prince and the Goblin Giant both out. And let me pop back out here because there seems to be a little problem with the feed. I'll go ahead and do my best to see if I can assess the problem. I'm going to check in with the League Ops right now. Oh, that's the... So it looks like the Elgato that they've been using crashed once again. They've been having that problem. So we'll be back. Oh, looks like we are already back. All right, here we go. Is Mo and Morten's teams out? Mo's team is in. Mo's team is actually finished first overall in the season. So they are certainly in. But yes, SK Gaming is out. What do I think is the best deck currently? I honestly don't know. A lot of Miner Poison out there. Interesting Mortar Miner deck here from EGW. Thoughts on Graveyard, but with E-Giant? I don't really see the synergy there. Fireball to clear, and now RG's in both lanes as the Minion Horde comes out on the right-hand side to contend with the classic Royal Giant. Well controlled here by Adrian Piedra, who has been saying that he really wants to make a CRL run next year. He said to a lot of people, myself included, at Worlds this year, that he's looking to make a full-on comeback in 2024. If a team wins the first round but loses either Tribe or PUIGINS, they would just have to play the same number of rounds as the team who lost the first round. Doesn't seem really fair IMO. I mean, it's an interesting double elimination bracket situation, but it does give them the chance to go up and beat Tribe or PUIGINS and then not only play fewer rounds, but also preserve that second life. So you got to beat one of those two teams. You got to beat the best to be the best. So far, this Miner deck getting the better of Adrian Piedra. And these Skelly Dragons are really causing problems for him. And that reflection from the Monk is devastating. Absolutely devastating. The Fireball has way too many targets to contend with. And interesting, EGW looking to DPS down the Royal Giant rather than trying to get on tower. And you saw Adrian Piedra throw the Fisherman down in anticipation of the Miner going to tower. That's a great, great pickup by Adrian. He's just so far behind. EGW, when he's good, he is great. He's really fun to watch when he's in form. Will he have the consistency today to really make it happen? Okay, they're switching very quickly. Got to keep an eye on that one today. Why is Golem not played in the Cup games? Because most Golem is bad. There is some Golem on occasion. Well, SK Gaming played it. I know they are already eliminated. Rich, can you give deck recommendations? Whatever you're best with, dude. I mean, it's a weird question. I always find that to be a weird question. Rich, can you post more on YouTube? I try, but, you know, because of the kind of content I do, I can't get that much frequent content out. But don't worry. There's streams today, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Is Expo still good? Not so much. Expo is pretty mediocre right now. Horde was unexpected. Yeah, that's very EGW, right? EGW made a really interesting call there because the likelihood that you're running Arrow's Fireball is higher than it used to be, obviously, but not super high. So running Arrow's Fireball, running both the Minion Horde and the Skeleton Dragons and the Goblins all together was a really nice kind of like baby style play out of EGW that we saw spread the spell work of Adrian Piedra just a little bit too thin. So very nicely done. And that's, again, when EGW is really cooking, he does some really fun stuff. It's just that big question of how often does he really get in form and play at his best level. So we'll have to see a lot more of that today. But yeah, I mean, you take a look at the deck. He had Evo Archers, the Minion Horde, the Skeleton Dragons, and the Goblins, right? So unless you're playing Arrow's Fireball, and honestly, even if you are, but unless you're playing Arrow's Fireball, you've got way too many targets to deal with, and one of those will always be in the mix. And then the Mortar Miner Monk to clear things out. So overall, really fun stuff for him. Only Fireball, really, Fireball and Phoenix. The only real ways he had to contend, that Adrian had to contend with all that stuff that was in the air. Rich, I love you so much as a commentator. Oh, thank you very much. Where do you see Clash Royale 5 years from now? We're doing World Finals at Madison Square Garden in 5 years. Is Mo Light playing in this tournament? Yes, he is. Is Bandit still good on rank? Yeah, in some decks, for sure. Is Golem Lightning underrated? No, it is not. It is very mid. Let's see. I'm on Arena 14, level 14 decks. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Game number 2. Keef up against EGW. And it's just after 9 a.m. here, and Mrs. Slayton has just shown up with a breakfast taco. Maybe one of the greatest things. I'm a burrito guy, but breakfast tacos are the bomb. And a little easy King Tower activation there. And EGW, again, getting kind of funky here. With Hog, Ghost, Archers, should see the Minor, or should see the Mega Knight and the Prince coming out a bit later. Oh, yes, Mo is playing, but not today. Good point there, Xander. Mo is playing, but not until tomorrow. What is EGW's spell situation? Tombstone going to be nice here for Keef. And a little dual lane pressure. NATO is going to have to make a choice here. Going to have to pull the Hog. And Keef gives up a shot from the Hog. A bit surprising there. And EGW out to a massive lead. Yes, you will see Mo play tomorrow, Harshit. Mega Knight is still broken. Nerf, please, says Weasel. I did not like the rework with Mega Knight's leap timing. I did not like that at all. But I don't think it's broken. It's just really annoying when you are low on elixir. So it is arrows. Choosing to take out one archer is EGW. This is really funky for Keef because, you know, and running arrows plus earthquake from EGW. Fascinating. So taking a common deck and then just making a couple little adjustments here. Bowler comes out. Prince does go to the bowler. For a second there, I thought it might get pushed just enough to go over to the tower instead. And now we have some dual lane attack out of Keef. And the Evo Archers, because of the Mega Knight, not in range of that Electro Giant, and that might be the end right there. That might be enough to solidify this victory. Bats get on the tower, Hog gets on the tower, and EGW 2 up, 2 down. Tremendous start to the day for EGW and his team. Let me go ahead and queue up a little replay moment there. And they switch, man, they switch so fast. Just a little bit too fast for me, and I am stuck because I'm trying to queue up a replay. I'm stuck with these guys on screen. Let me go over here there for you. And let me queue up this replay. One moment here. And boom, here we go. Let's jump into the replay. So this, I believe, is going to be the... Well, this is after the Hog came in. Which replay did I pick, folks? I don't remember. Oh, you know what this is? I know exactly what this is. Okay, so E-Giant's going to come down the left-hand lane, and then you see the Archers come down. With the Mega Knight there, the NATO is pulled in a way where it pulls the Mega Knight, and the Archers don't come in range of the Electro Giant. So, just an unfortunate... It was probably going to be dead in the water for Keef anyway. But still, very unfortunate. I'm going to move this replay icon, by the way. Let me just move this replay. Where are you, replay icon? There you are. Let's move you somewhere a little bit less annoying. That seems less annoying right there. All right. So there you have it. Let's see. Taking a look at... Let me catch up on the chat. Here's our waiting for our next game. EGW gives me 2018 OP Sam Mad Scientist vibes. Yeah, I feel you on that one. EGW kind of has that going on. Let's see. Need a nerf Royal Giant. Its range is massive. I think Royal Giant's in an okay place right now. Evo Royal Giant's a different. All the Evos are a different thing, but Royal Giant's in a fine place. Mystery Man says that Morten's the GOAT based on his overall consistency. Yeah, I mean he's top 5 for me all time, probably top 3, but it's hard to call him the GOAT when both Molite and Mugi exist. I think both of them probably have to be higher than him on the list. Definitely Molite for sure. Who played before Keef for Team Queso? That would be Adrian Piedra. Marnik's asking how we're doing. We're doing great. Looking like Graveyard for DarkAngel here. We'll see if that's the case or if he is. It might be Graveyard both directions. Also maybe going into RG. RG or Graveyard, both options. Both solid choices here. So looking like more and more like Royal Giant both directions. You could argue Airsurfer is also part of the conversation to being the GOAT considering consistency. I mean, if consistency is the only thing over consistency and longevity, but no, Airsurfer is not in the GOAT conversation. But Airsurfer is certainly first ballot Hall of Famer. No questions there. So looking very mirror matchy here. And it is Royal Giant for EGW. Probably the same thing for DarkAngel. But DarkAngel really slow playing here. And DarkAngel would love to clear all that off, but he needs to save the Fireball specifically for the Mother Witch, and there it is. He's going to probably get on top of it pretty quick. He has to go to 0 for it, though, so he really doesn't want to. He is really behind on Elixir, and now the Fireball comes out for the Evo Archers, and DarkAngel in a troublesome spot here. EGW just really on it so far to kick off this competition. The Mother Witch really requiring the Fireball as a response, and now you have Evo Archers. Look at that. DarkAngel going with the Phoenix version. And I think that the Mother Witch version is going to have matchup just because of that Fireball problem. Even with Phoenix's higher DPS and being better at getting the Royal Giant down like you saw there. But let's see, this is a lot now. EGW is a little bit low on Elixir. And that Fish Boy might go down. And this should be a couple of good shots here for DarkAngel to get back in the game. And DarkAngel does take the lead. But we are playing the counterpunch game. You hit me, I hit you. Let's see who falls first. EGW really needs to have that Barb Barrel available next time that Skeleton King pops. He's been kind of stuck in funky spots with the big Skeleton King abilities. Fireball for the Mother Witch. EGW has to watch that value. And falls a bit short. That was unfortunate for EGW as well. He might be in a lot of trouble here. He's not doing a good job now with taking advantage of the dual Fireball targets. There we go. Now he gets the Mother Witch involved. DarkAngel forced to play real defense for the first time in about 90 seconds. And this Mother Witch just not getting on the skeletons quite fast enough. Now starts to turn stuff the opposite direction. 35 seconds left. DarkAngel very much ahead and gets good Fireball value here at the bridge. Fireball out of cycle and a Royal Giant to protect the Mother Witch here. Barb Barrel not going to do it. One Evo Archer might be enough here. RG hits 1, RG hits 2, does not hit 3. And that should be DarkAngel. Because you go Fireball for Fireball here. He gets his Fireball in. The Insurance spell played. And DarkAngel prevents the EGW sweep in a very, very close game. Nicely done. Very, very nicely done indeed. Let's see. Shamsul as saying, I'm excited to watch Clown in 2024. Yeah, I feel you on that one. GOAT convo should only be Mohamed Light Mugi. Yeah, I agree. That's really the only two viable arguments at this point. Would you still put Surge, Ruben, and Elsiop in the GOAT convo? I mean, look, they probably should be in the conversation. It's really hard to evaluate Elsiop. It's really hard to evaluate Elsiop just because of the questions of the level of competition he faced in his region. But like, I think that there's a big problem of recency bias in Clash Royale. Like, oh, well, you are not good right now while I'm watching, so you were never good. And so on and so forth. But I think that when you have one guy who pretty much won everything, who won almost everything for 3 years in Mohamed Light, and the other guy who's already one of the best players in the world, and then won 2 world championships, I think you've kind of narrowed the conversation down to those two. But I think that, like, if you're doing runner-ups to that GOAT conversation, Surge, Ruben, Elsiop, Morten. Those are the 4 who are, like, spicy takes. Hot takes, if you will. Let's see. Is the GOAT conversation best of his time or best ever? GOAT conversation is best ever. GOAT means greatest of all time. Greatest. It's an acronym. It's not just like you eat tin cans and have a funky beard. It's greatest of all time. So it's not like if you won the most recent world final that you are the GOAT. And I think people have gotten really weird with that definition. They overuse the word GOAT. Greatest of all time should be limited. Like in basketball, greatest of all time is a very limited conversation, right? It's like Jordan, LeBron, and then now you get into like, should Wilt Chamberlain be in the conversation? Should Kobe be in the conversation? Right? Like, that's kind of it, but it's very similar. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 4 here. What do I think about Surgical Goblin? Great player, a first ballot Hall of Famer. VATube saying best of all time, Mugi, best prime, Mohamed Light for me. I don't know. I don't know if I get like it's a really interesting question because the World Finals is one tournament, right? And you can actually argue that there are tons of tournaments every year that have close to the same quality of the players at World Finals. I think winning one World Finals, especially in the solo era, puts you in the GOAT conversation, and then it's the full body of work. But that's the fun part about Mugi winning second World Finals, is it does open up this big conversation. It opens up this conversation, which really most pros say isn't really a conversation, but it does open it up and make it interesting. So first loon of the day. Personality-wise, who's the nicest pro you got to meet in World Finals? Vitor is probably universally considered the nicest guy maybe in the history of the game. Like if you mix the niceness mixed with how good you are. Wallace is certainly up there as well. Marco Rubio on Twitch asking, are these the only teams playing today? We have 2 matches today. This is match number 1 of the day. Keko saying hello. So, Tombstone, NATO, Phoenix, and Evo Archers should provide lots of defensive utility here for DarkAngel. And the fact that it's Archers Monk Goblins against the Electro Giant should provide opportunities to break through here. Troublemaker, this is actually a great question. Mugi 21 or Mugi 23, who's better? I would argue Mugi 21 is better than Mugi 23. I would make that argument. E-Giant getting in nicely, and this is a good opportunity for some damage. Even though the E-Giant will only get a little bit here. Actually, quite a bit with that second shock. But still, look at how much is on the board. And Firkin forced to spend a lot. Not going to... DarkAngel, I guess, didn't have the Barb Barrel here. Or maybe he did and wanted to get the Phoenix and save the Barb Barrel for part of this bridge fight. And that's a good Monk here. He might even Monk early. No. Lightning takes it out, but Loon to the right-hand side. DarkAngel in a bit of trouble here. Nados, does he have the Tombstone to save? Doesn't need it, but he will take death damage here. And that gives Firkin a nice lead in both lanes as we go into the final 80 seconds. DarkAngel, interesting choice of how to contend with this. Snowball plus arrows. He has to NATO this back, and he does, and that should be outside of... No, it's going to be in death damage range. So again, Firkin adding to his lead, 1450 to 2264. And the NATO not being able to be used on offense. That's a double bowler... Oh, no, it's a single bowler refraction as one of them gets onto that tower, and... King Tower activation, fine, dandy, but that could be the ending blow there as Firkin just lets that one slip. And now DarkAngel can just focus all his elixir on defense. That NATO's not getting, I mean, that Loon's not getting anywhere near the tower. A little more damage in maybe than DarkAngel expected, but now suddenly he's gone 2 up, 2 down, and has the chance to reverse sweep in our opening set of the day. You want excitement? There it is. There it is. Rich, is Pedro better than Mo Light right now? I don't think so. I think Pedro's deck pool needs to deepen before we can make that argument. Again, man, this is such a what have you done late for me community. It's crazy. But no, I don't think Pedro is better than Mo Light right now. I think Pedro has the potential to be, and with the right coaching this next year to expand his deck pool, I think he very well could surpass him. But you're talking about, I mean, like, do we really need to bust out the resume? I feel like you guys are just trolling me whenever you guys talk about this stuff, because it's crazy. Tower Troops and new Evils make Pro 2024 Pro Tier gameplay emergency. Maybe. We'll see. Sluggish Crow, greetings to Rich and chat. Hello, how are you? Are we going to see PUIGINS today? No, we'll see them tomorrow. Hey, Rich, is Iragon from Nepal? I don't know. I have no idea. Do I also play? No, I don't play in these tournaments. Rich soloing commentary for a tournament. Yeah, we're gonna be hanging out today. I think Morten returning to the meta makes Piedra extra strong right now. Sure, it does. Dual mode really does require, though, that you have more flexibility. And again, this is my big criticism of World Finals is I think Goblin Giant being so strong and being essentially a must-play for every player in every set really kind of hamstrung the tournament and didn't let us see players' depth of skill because of how much the meta was dominated by Goblin Giant. I really wish we could run back World Finals without that crazy strong Goblin Giant situation. So I think a lot of things I liked about World Finals better this year than last year, but the deck variety and gameplay I enjoyed more in 2022 than in 2023. Here we go. Next game. Pandora. Last up for Strangers. Set number 1 in the balance. Little Prince has made certain decks respond to the meta, return to the meta because it's so strong. Yeah, Marco Rubio, I feel you. Thomas saying, hello, Rich in the future. Hope you're well. I'm usually half an hour behind on live streams, catching up between matches at double speed. Oh, cool. Enjoy. What's the price of your eyeglasses? These are always 25 bucks. Gooder. Goodr. So, Minor Wallbreakers MK for DarkAngel. And some Hog EQ for Pandora, our number 3 finisher at World Finals this year. Pandora certainly had some great moments at Worlds. Felt like he had a lot to prove. Especially after getting first rounded twice at the 2 previous World Finals. Have I just seen every set playing archers? It is one of the drawbacks of King of the Hill as a format. It's also part of why I actually, in the long run, I'll cast all these teams events, but I don't really view Clash Royale as a team event. And I don't love Clash Royale as a team event because you play King of the Hill and then you end up seeing, if there's a broken card, you see it every single time. Which I don't tremendously love. So far today, in our matches, there has only been one deck that did not feature Evo Archers. That was Adrian Piedra's deck in the first game. But so far, out of 10 decks seen in this competition, 9 of them have had Evo Archers. Here we go. Final minute, or final 2 minutes. Sudden death, Evo Archers out on both sides. King Tower activation, but are you going to get murdered by this anyway? Arrows come out, and looks like DarkAngel is going to going to finish the reverse sweep. Very, very well played by DarkAngel. Nice work. And let me go ahead and queue up our replay here, because I think I caught that log. I might have been a half step late, though. Let's go ahead and see if I actually got it or not. Here we go, jumping into the replay. Did I get the very, very end of it? I got the very, very end. So you see the Evo Archers come down, and that log, I think that was the log, wasn't it? I think I just barely didn't get it. Let's see. Wow. Yeah. Just enough to keep that Royal Ghost off. Nicely done. Joel Andrew asking, what is the prize pool? Let me see if I actually put that. Did I put that graphic in here? I might have put that graphic in here. Let me see. Nope, that's the wrong prize pool. Let me go ahead and... I can actually go ahead and fix... I think I have that graphic. Give me a second. And I will update that to the current one. Let's see. Playoffs and finals. Where are you, format graphic? Oh, maybe I didn't download it. Well, the full thing is going to be What in the heck? Why is my... Am I behind now? Let me double check something, folks. The prize pool for this event is $35,000. It was $65,000 for the whole year, and $35,000 for just this grand final. So there we go. And let's jump into our next set. 1v1 duel mode, Surgical Goblin versus Pandora. This guy's saying GOAT conversation ended after Mugi won winning this year. Nope. That's and a great point here from VileTube, the GOAT conversation started. The GOAT conversation was completely settled before Mugi won, and now Mugi's opened the conversation up. Eugene's mommy saying, what's the difference between King of the Hill and 1v1? King of the Hill is each team puts up 3 players. If you win, you stay on, and if you lose, you get knocked out of that round. And the first team to eliminate the other 3 players wins the set. 1v1 is a best-of-3 duel between 2 players. It's literally 1v1. King of the Hill is sort of 3v3. I think it's a huge disadvantage for people in mid-ladder without Little Prince. Potentially. Adriel simply outplayed Momo with that RT plus Monk reflection. I think like a lot of us were surprised that Monk stayed close enough that reflection got the arrows from the other side. Which win condition deck do you think is probably least played and why? Probably E-Golem, not Classic Golem. And yes, Samander, I do remember seeing this. Wait and watch Mugi next final, mark my word. Man, people are really confident to predict people in a game where you lose 30% of your games and you're world class. People are really confident to predict. People are asking me to predict world finals, and I did all those preview videos. Like, almost every pick was wrong, especially this world finals where the meta was so insane. But anybody confident enough to be like, this person's going to win world finals next year, you're just trying to get yourself a screenshot where you can brag on the off chance that you are right 1 year from now. Which deck was used the most in CRL this year? It was the RG Skeleton King with Mother Witch deck. Was the most successful deck of the year. That's a great, great push out of Surgical Goblin. And just like that, gets himself right back in the conversation. Well, that's an annoying Guardian for Surgical Goblin. Just goes right past the brawler, or past the cage, and forces the recruits out maybe a bit earlier than he hoped. 835 to 692. 80 seconds left. Mortar down. Surgical has to control it. Goes with the Mother Witch, which will stay alive long enough to keep it off the tower. Fireball in. Whoa, look at that. Fireball did not go to the troops. Doesn't matter. The Ram Rider slides on through. Fireball arrows out for Surgical Goblin. Arrows, Mortar, Miner, Little Prince out for Pandora. I wonder if Pandora prepped. He probably didn't. He probably doesn't have a Loon deck because he had Miner there. And here we go. Even with the nerf to the spears, Goblin Giant Rage still exists. And yes, to answer the question, I was eating something. That was the breakfast taco Mrs. Slayton brought me. Do I think Little Prince basically killed the Archer Queen? Quicker Cycle Guardian? I think Evo's killed the Archer Queen more than Little Prince. In-game duels are a great tool for large tournaments. I really don't like them in competitive play beyond a certain point. Right? When you need to, when you're trying to do like a big, large Swiss bracket or something to narrow down in an open competition, like the earlier stages of CRL. I think the in-game duels are great. They make the adminning so much easier. But in later stages, it really should just be regular duels. That's weird. Why am I getting that message here? Let me check something here, folks. Give me 1 second. One moment as I handle something. Evo bats are so funky. And here you go, a raged up Goblin Giant, gonna get a bunch of damage. I just don't like it. Because especially when you combine the fact that Rage also does damage and can clear out swarms that are distracting the spears, it's just too much. And that fireball gets a ton of value. And that is going to put Surgical Goblin in a nearly insurmountable hole here. Is that enough to finish? It's pretty close. Not quite, but yeah, that's it. And Surgical Goblin is just like, what do I do about that? What do I do about a raged up Goblin Giant? What does anybody do? Let's see. I don't think Surge has Hog. He has Lightning, maybe Royal Giant, maybe E-Giant. He has NATO available as well. Pandora also has NATO available. You might be seeing Graveyard or E-Giant from one or both of these two. Royal Giant's more popular with Fireball. So Graveyard or E-Giant are the two decks I'm anticipating. And just as a note, Mohamed Light has not played in the golden chair for a while. He plays in like an esports style chair now. So looking like Royal Giant here for both sides potentially. Who do I think will be the next world champion is such an impossible question to answer. How do you answer that question when there is this much time? We have no idea what anyone's form will be next year. There's so much to be played. I think it's a fool's errand to say who you think will be the next world champion. And that E-Giant is all of it. So I was right with E-Giant. I was wrong with the player. But with NATO being open, I'm not surprised to see one of these two running it. And Strangers with a really good chance of going up 2-0. And this was really nice for Pandora, not just with the E-Giant play, but how well Bowler matches up against Little Prince. With Fireball out as well, the Evo Archers now present an even bigger problem for Surgical Goblin, who's probably running Lightning here. And Lightning really not ideal in this matchup, especially not with the way Pandora is spreading out Lightning targets very, very well. Oh yeah, Queso did win the first set. The colors confuse me sometimes. You're right. Queso did win the first set. And Surgical Goblin knows it's over. This was nearly impossible. Pandora, great choice in game number 3. And we are all tied up between Strangers and Queso. I forgot about that full reverse sweep. Nicely done. Moa doubled the points of the second player in terms of points. He should have gotten more of a temperature advantage at World Finals. Yeah. What's a good deck for Arena 10? I don't know, Key Chameleon. Who remembers Rage having a big area, no death damage? And no damage, yeah. That was like a year ago. It was pretty recent. I don't have any commands set up. Guy who's doing command bracket on the Twitch chat. But we'll show the bracket here in a little bit. Let me see, do I have the bracket? Let me actually see if I have a bracket view set up. I might have done that. Let me just go ahead and look through some of my other things. You know what? I can probably just do this. Give me a second here, and I will show you guys the bracket. Where are you? There we go. And boom, there's the bracket for you. And I wonder if I have a, you know what? I actually might even have that as a PSD that I could be updating. Let me go ahead and open up my Photoshop and see if I have it. Oh, I'll close a bunch of Photoshop stuff here. Yes, I will save this. I will save this. I have all the things from yesterday's competition open on my screen. And let me go see if I think I have. And that way I could be updating it. Oh yeah, there we go. Boom. So I'll be able to update that as time goes on. Let's see, that's round 2 upper bracket. Oh, cool. Great. In fact, you know what I can actually do right now to make this bracket even better is I can go, give me 1 second, folks. I can go here. Oh, we're not even in the CHIVAS matchup. Hold on. We're doing Queso Strangers right now. Hold on, folks. I can do this. I wasn't planning to, but I can. Let's turn you on. Let's turn you on. And let's go like this. And now let's export you. Where are you? There we go. There we go. Save and replace, and let's see if that did it. Boom! Scores are up there. Look at that. Look at me producing on the fly. Currently 1-1. Dang, I am good. Let's see. This tournament is so predictable, no team has any chance of beating the monsters PUIGINS has collected. Of course they have a chance. But PUIGINS is just real good. Are PUIGINS OP? Absolutely. We'll see them tomorrow. Is it only common cards that get evolutions? No, in fact, they're planning the next Valk evolution has been announced. The day Ice Golem Evo comes out is Rich's best day. Let's go. That'll be fun. How have you been lately, Rich? I've been well. Are Mugi Mohamed Light in this challenge? Yes, go look at the rosters in the description below. Let's see. How can I join the tournament? Go back in time and become a pro before this tournament starts. Let's see. Other questions. You got the advantage of getting seated against the lowest seated player. Yep. He also got a lot of money. That's true. Got a lot of money this year. Reaper Killer. We love you. Mwah. Let's see. Let's look at the... Anything else here? Nothing great. All right. Let's continue. Our second King of the Hill set coming up now. What kind of challenge, big challenge do you want from Clash Royale? Another big, whatchamacallit? Another big tournament for, whatchamacallit? What's the thing called? Mega Draft. Haven't 2 teams been knocked out, though? Yes, we are down to our final 6 teams. That's correct. Need a Mega Draft leaderboard. That'd be fun. And 1 second, folks. Let me just look at something here. Rich, can you increase the game volume? I can bring it up a little bit. They should have a separate trophy row that is just permanent Mega Draft. Yeah, I feel you. I would like that. Anybody here surprised to see Evo Archers? Would you advocate for Mega Draft being the new competitive format? Personally, I would really like that, but people would dislike it so much that I wouldn't want to do it, even though I think that Mega Draft is the best format by far. So here's the thing, right? I see so many people talking in the chat, like, they're like, hey, so much Evo Archer, it's really annoying. That's the Evo Archers everywhere. The meta's this, meta's that. Mega Draft solves all of those problems pretty much. It really does. Nice wall breakers connection for Lord Seb. Roger Dodger saying too much RNG in Mega Draft. Any more than the randomness of a matchup you get on ranked? At least you have some control over the matchup you get. Wall breaker's taken care of by the bar barrel on the right. 45 seconds left. Lord Seb has a good lead, though. He's trying his hardest right now to force the conversation to the right-hand lane so the EGW has to spend away from the tower he's attacking. That's a good Mighty Miner. I don't know, is Lord Seb able to cycle to another bomb tower here? Goes for Goblins for DPS, might not need the second bomb tower. And Miner Poison doing its thing on the right-hand side. This should be a win for Lord Seb here, barring any big mistakes. Does the bowler get a lineup? The bowler gets one lineup, but won't be enough. GG, well played. Lord Seb taking game number 1. Jeff Winston pointed out if they remove Pump from Mega Draft, it'll be perfect. Yeah, I agree. I think Pump is the big problem in Mega Draft. You're right. What do you think for 5th set if it's a Mega Draft, not King of the Hill? That'd be great, too. But would Mega Draft have the same problem as any of the other draft formats at high level, which is they become stale and start to make samey decks all the time to prevent matchup differential? I don't know. I've done a bunch of Mega Draft casts and have not seen that problem because the pool of cards on the board are different every time, right? Triple Draft was really bad because the way Triple Draft was built was that that certain card groups come up all the time, right? So Mega Draft ended up, because you didn't know what was coming, ended up people drafted really safe, and Mega Draft became insanely predictable because there were certain cards you had to take every single time. Now, is there some of that in Mega Draft? Yes, but sometimes you get a point where like those cards aren't even in the Mega Draft at all, right? So I think that Mega Draft creates some good variety. I think it's interesting. I think it's much more interesting. I hate seeing like the same decks run over and over and over and over and over. People ask me all the time, what's my favorite deck? And my answer is no. Some people love running the same deck for 6 years. I can't stand running the same deck for 2 weeks. So I can barely stand it for 6 days. How new is EGW competitive scene? He's been doing a lot this year. He's been around a whole bunch in this year. So Sluggish Crow saying Mega Draft is not viewer friendly because of the long drafting time. I disagree. Personally, I muted myself accidentally instead of changing the sound. I think that if you view drafting as part of rather than separate from the gameplay, it's phenomenal. Rich, you have to make getting Evos easier. Well, I'm not a part of that decision whatsoever. Your opponent's free to pick pump counters. I don't think pump is a problem. I do, because sometimes there aren't pump counters. I just don't think really pump has a place in it. I've cast a lot of Mega Draft. I think pump should be out. Is Tri Gaming still alive? Yes, we will look at the bracket in a little bit. Firkin has been avoiding RG as of late. A little bit of leakage there out of Lord Seb. Lord Sebastian lane and playing like you want to be play, but I am sleepy too. Some people like to play lying down. I often do. Evo Archers once again, yeah. Again, that's the problem with King of the Hill style format. That's one of the reasons why dual mode is so tremendous for competitive, right? Is your decks become a lot less repetitive. It's better when you're not in pre-submitted decks, and it's better when there isn't something specific that's so meta-defining like Goblin Giant was the last few months. But overall, dual mode does better for deck variety than just straight up play whatever you're going to play, and let's see what happens. As long as dual mode is open rather than closed. Normal rather than pre-submitted. Miner goes to the back. Wall breakers in front. And nice tanking of the miner of the wall breakers for the miner. That Inferno Tower did not do what it wanted to do. Does Lord Seb go with something in front of the Evo Archer on the left? No, he doesn't. And that Goblin placement out of Firkin, just a little early, doesn't get the Princess Tower involved. Miner goes to the front this time. Goblin's late. Lord Seb starting to open up that lead, 1781 to 2279. Not really sure what Firkin can do here to break through, and you're not going to, I don't think he's going to win the spell cycle race with the log EQ versus the log Miner Poison as we get closer to triple. Oh, but Lord Seb lets an Evo Archer connect on the left-hand side, and that might change everything here. The damage is split, but Hog's going to get 2 shots here, and suddenly Firkin has roared back into the lead, 75 seconds left, and he has a nice advantage in that right-hand lane. And Lord Seb gives up another Hog shot. Things going from bad to worse for Sebastian. Firkin doing a great job with the pressure. But these Evo Archers just not getting into the conversation as Firkin has really shut down the right-hand side. Wall breakers won't do much here. Hog high, caught by the bomb tower. Wall breakers again. And an EQ on defense just to preserve any possibility. And this is just shut down from Firkin now. 18 seconds left. There is no way. Tied up 1-1 in King of the Hill. No way. No way. Oh, okay, for a second, I thought that wall breaker might sneak through. Doesn't do it. GG, well played, going on to game number 3, all tied up. Oh, that's the wrong. I thought that was the... There it is. There's where I needed to go. I need to change that up. Here's where we have our current bracket. So those of you asking, is Tribe Gaming still alive? Yes, you can see Tribe Gaming in upper bracket round 2. They're awaiting the winner of Team Queso versus Strangers. Chivas and CALALAS will play in our second match of the day. Winner will go on to face against PUIGINS. And, of course, those losers will fall down into the losers bracket side, the lower bracket side of things. And Archers go vroom. That is true. How to vote. Vote for what? Like, vote for president? Hey! I don't know if I can put this on screen, but... Yan Oler, thanks for a tier 1 sub on Twitch. There you go, little first-time chatter throwing out the Rich Slayton CRL emote on Twitch. Thanks very much. I appreciate the support. That's very cool. Who are some of your favorite rookies 2023 competitive? I mean, I kind of consider this to be, even though Pedro played a little bit in 2022, didn't really play. This was his first real season. So Pedro for sure. I would say people who like this was the year they kind of really came out into the scene in CRL. Clown, even though he's been around for a while, wasn't really competing. Clown, Pedro, Mr. Cena was really fun to watch this year. So those are some good ones. I don't know what how to vote means, Trini. Stop spamming this. All right, you're getting timed out. You're getting a 1-minute timeout. You do it again, it's going to be a longer timeout. Isn't the lower bracket incorrect? Only 1 round match and they move to round 2 lower bracket. Let's look at this bracket because it is a little funky. So the way the lower bracket works is the loser of Queso and Strangers will drop to the lower bracket, as will the loser of CHIVAS CALALAS. And then they will await the losers of PUIGINS and Tribe Gaming's matches from round 2. And then those players will drop down. It's just kind of funky when you have a 6-team double elim bracket. Is this channel for all live Clash Royale tournaments? It's for many of them. We do a lot of the CRL qualifiers here on my channel. Like during the season of CRL, I usually do the group stage stream. You know, we have you make top 1,000 in ladder or ranked, and then you go to a Swiss bracket. I usually stream the group stage, which is the top 32 on here, plus tons of other tournaments Silly plays. If you go check out just go check out the channel, you can see all the live streams. But there is a ton. This is where you'll find the most Clash Royale esports live streams in English. And that's weird. You're getting a long timeout for that one. Are you streaming GKRTX later? It depends on if I have time. The conflict with the Queso Cup is unfortunate, so we'll see. I would answer this question from Legendary Main if you knew what my name was. Giant... I'm assuming this is GY in here with this Giant Bowler Night Witch deck. Weird with the Evolved Barbarians, but that will be nice against the Royal Giant. You see, that's why Adrian is just sitting on those. Does he arrow snowball here? And there we go. It's tough for Adrian to find a spot because he has to be able to get the tanks down, get the graveyard down, and then have 5 elixir for snowball arrows to kill the Mother Witch. That's nice for him. I don't think he's in a graveyard here, though, because now he has only one of the 2 spells. I don't really know Adrian's path to victory at this point. Aziz asks, is the first game of the day? Yes, this is the first match. We have 2 matches today. And then you have to arrow snowball for 2 Mother Witches on the board. You have to arrow snowball for the Evo Archers. And Firkin now finally gets the Royal Giant down. And wow, very nice. The Barb Barrel Fireball combination. And now it's just going to be back to Fireball for Firkin to get the win. But that was really, really choice there. And you got to admire the work from Firkin in this situation. Let's go ahead and take a look at that replay of the winning moment here. And this was just a tough matchup overall for Adrian Piedra. You're playing snowball arrows, and you have both the Evo Archers and Mother Witches to worry about when you're playing a graveyard deck. And you just cannot win a bridge fight well enough to get a breakthrough. And now you're going to see the RG comes down, and Firkin is totally ready for what's coming, the Evo Barbs. Early Barb Barrel plus Fireball, and that's just textbook. And he waited until he was sure he had enough elixir to make that full play. We can go ahead and watch this one more time here. If you keep an eye on the right-hand side of the screen, Royal Giant comes down. He's at 5, he's at 6, and so he can Barb Barrel, Fireball, bang, bang, and get it done. Very smart play by a very smart Royal Giant player. let's see. Do these players usually have coaches, teammates in their ear giving them tips and live and stuff? I don't know exactly how far they go. A lot of players would find that distracting. Hey, Rich, is Banana Golem God? This is the craziest sentence that I've ever read. This is the craziest sentence I've read. Okay, I don't even know what to do with that. Glad to see someone playing Night Witch. Yeah, Night Witch has been around. Night Witch is showing up in some graveyard decks, some giant GY decks, some bowler GY decks. Is Mo and Mugi on the same team? Yes, they are. Hey, Rich, why did you only stream the first day of the Queso Cup LCQ? Because I wasn't available to stream the rest of it. That's why. I was unavailable to do the rest of that. He's talking about Banna the player. No idea who that is. I don't follow ladder/ranked. So a lot of these players who are like just a ladder one trick, I don't know who they are. If they're not competing, if they're not playing competitive, it's unlikely I know them. I might know them maybe if they're like around, talked about on Twitter a whole bunch, but yeah, I generally do not follow ladder, and I definitely don't follow like the ladder one trick circuit. Do I know who Crusher is? I do. And I do know Remy Eli because his deck is so crazy popular. If you're regularly appearing in top 10 on ranked, then I see ya. But if you only play ladder and not comp, most of the time I don't know. I already answered this question, Vosh. I was busy, and I was not available to stream those other days. Any tips to get to Ultimate Champion for the first time? I don't know how I would give tips for that. E-Giant, or let's see, Electro Spirit, Phoenix, and a big spell to try to stop Loon. I don't understand what ladder means. Ranked, Path of Legends, whatever you want to call it. And slowing down a bit. Elixir advantage for Furkin. He chooses to press the action. I think Furkin decided not to mess around. He's like, I'm a Royal Giant player. Let me stop not Royal Gianting. And gets 3 Evo shots. Snowball does not redirect the Phoenix. Doesn't matter, though, because didn't need to be redirected. That's going to be tower down on the right-hand side. DarkAngel takes 1. I think that there'll be enough RG shots on the left to take this without having to spend more. Is Furkin able to stop this? He has to fireball, and he's going to still take death damage. This is hard. This is really hard for Furkin right here. We might be going to game 3 again. The Evo RG in the pocket will get a lot of damage, though. Do I think Recruit should get a nerf? I think Recruit should get a rework. A full rework, not just a nerf. Snowball in, and well held by Furkin. Not taking death damage there was absolutely huge. He's going to go ahead and he's going to play the Goblins. DarkAngel trying to predict when the next pocket RG is going to come. And it's played high by Furkin here. To tank for the Phoenix. Only 1 shot. And look at that. Fishboy gets completely evaporated. Pocket. I don't know if I like that. Oh, does that get close enough? No. I don't know if I like that pocket loon there. I guess that's a pressure play, but I really don't like it. This RG, I think, is going to get enough. Snowball to slow the Royal Giant. It should get 2 more. Just gets the 1, but oh boy. And now back to another one. And I think Firkin's about to do it. Yes, he is. Good game. And Firkin goes ahead and does it for Strangers. That's a big one there. Let's go ahead and let me turn that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket. After 3 sets, here we go. Strangers up with match point. Or let the co-commentator with julesy. You're bringing them back. Yeah, julesy comes out all the time. Just, you know, when I get co-casters when they're available. Let's see. Hey, Rich, is Firkin RG God? Firkin's very good at RG. Very true. Very good. Is Crusher doesn't play for Tribe, does he? Does he? Now I need to go look at the YouTube description and see if he actually does. I didn't think he did. Maybe he does. What was the atmosphere like in Helsinki, says Ifolo? It was tremendous. It was super fun. Really, really fun to be there. Yeah, he doesn't play for Tribe. I don't know what you're talking about. PUIGINS plays tomorrow. Recruits need a nerf this season. Didn't because of the new Evo coming out. I mean, Recruits did. Evo Recruits got a nerf. But Recruits, I think, just need a full-on rework. The tanking from the RG in the pocket was superb. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Here we go. And it's DarkAngel out for set number 4. Pandora with a chance to win this one for Strangers. Looking at, I'm bringing up DarkAngel's decks so far today. He has not played anything like this today. In fact, this might be our first appearance of the Evo night in the competition today. He's mostly playing minor wall breakers with Little Prince in his ranked play, his Path of Legends play. A little RG as well. More of an RG cycle kind of look. E-Giant is an interesting choice here. When we look at Pandora, where are you, Pandora? When we look at Pandora's previous dual mode match against Surgical, Pandora ran this, what looks like the same Bowler E-Giant deck. So I'm curious if Pandora is running the same dual set here. The other 2 decks that Pandora ran were the Goblin Giant Sparky deck and the Mortar Miner Little Prince deck. So very interesting to see kind of a run back here. Those Evo Archers staying up is really, really rough for DarkAngel. Look at how much he's going to get out of these Evo Archers. Bar Barrel finally gets there, but now with one Electro Giant being tanked for by another and a Phoenix behind, this would be a first big chunk of damage for anybody, and it's Pandora just totally running right down the gullet. Look how low DarkAngel is on Elixir. And that was just all you see him look up, be like, come on, man. Come on, man. Why is this what happens to me? Too much value from those Evo archers. Can the players use the same night multiple times here? No, we are. If you look on the top of the gameplay screen, you see the 2 blue dots, 2 red dots. We're playing in-game duel mode for this set. So you cannot repeat cards here. Can one player play both duels? It appears so, since Pandora has. And a little extra damage for insult to injury here against DarkAngel. Pandora setting up the E-Giant mostly just to be like, hey, you have to defend this or you are going to lose. DarkAngel trying to do it as cheaply as possible and see if he can break through here, but that breakthrough will not be enough. 391. Electro Giant will do more, and DarkAngel knows that's game number 1 done and dusted in favor of Pandora. So very similar looks both ways. Evo Archers versus Evo Knight, though. NATO out. DarkAngel makes the easy choice, or Pandora makes the easy choice of going Hog. And does that Hog hit? It doesn't. Pandora, a little... You got to know that that snowball... Maybe he had to cycle the snowball to get to the fish boy, but you have to make a decision there. If you're going to cycle the snowball, you have to spend that snowball on offense and then spend the fish boy for the King Tower activation. Because there he just took that damage and then had kind of a useless fisherman. It's hard to make that choice, though. Here we go. 6 Loon. And that Lumberjack, not quite enough to help the balloon get past the Tesla. Tesla is great for Pandora in this matchup. Tesla, Snowball, Ice Spirit. Firecracker helpful, but not the best. Not the best. Silly Plays, are you a commentator or do you control the competition? I'm just a commentator. Best Evo, says Silly Plays. I think the answer is pretty clear from what we're seeing played the most here today. The best Evo, unequivocally, the one you're seeing here over and over again, isn't Little Prince banned. No, there are no bans in duel mode. They should take the bans off during duels. Let me go ahead and tell them. Let me go ahead and remind. I think they normally do. Oh, yeah, there we go. They took them off. And Lumberjack not going to do enough here again. And good timing on the Fisherman. But now DarkAngel has to be careful because you saw what has happened with that Firecracker. Once Evo Firecracker is out, that becomes even more of a danger, where you're trying to control the Hog with the Fisherman, and the Evo Firecracker fires crosswise for that damage on the opposite tower. We've seen that a lot, so keep an eye on that. Evo Firecracker is out of cycle now, as the Snowball arrows took care of it. But let's see if that happens again when we get late in the double and into triple Elixir. Shamsul saying DarkAngel has clear matchup. If this was Bomb Tower, I would feel maybe more like that. Obviously, Firecracker makes it a little bit harder for Pandora, but Tesla's huge here. Tesla plus Snowball. And here comes the Evo Firecracker. Snowball opposite direction. Ice Spirit to slow. And you see Balloon just can't really get through. Now Hog down with a little protection in front. You see Fisherman has to go low here rather than high. I don't think that this is an easy matchup call for DarkAngel at all. Oh, was that a Tesla miss? Snowball has to come out here and not going to be available. Snowball very late and cannot get on it, and that is GG. Tesla placed in the middle. Snowball not there to correct the balloon when it didn't pull. And now we go to game number 3. Hog, NATO, Lightning, EQ, Snowball out for Pandora. Let's see if he goes Goblin Giant here. He's going to go Minor Wall Breakers. Tesla can't deal with Evo Recruit. That's a good point. How much is the prize pool? For the full year, $65,000. For this grand final event, $35,000 of that. Rahul Pandey asking how am I? I'm doing well. A little tired, but overall good. And DarkAngel with Evo Archers for the last game. I'm a little surprised by the lack of delivery that we've seen today. You think there'd be a little more royal delivery with Evo Archers and Little Prince. So a near mirror here. The Evo Archers, though, versus the Little Prince plus Evo Knight and a Wallbreaker connection. Oscar is saying, what's the best card to use in this competition in your opinion? I think it should be clear. Do I think Evo Archers are OP? Absolutely, and that's also the answer to the previous question. Do I think Tribe is going to do well? Let's see who they match up against. But, yeah, probably. They have a good squad overall. It's a lot of value from those Archers. Wow. Very nice value out of the Archers. DarkAngel still shakes his head a little bit at the log that he had to use against those wall breakers. Here we go. Final 15 of regulation. DarkAngel with a pretty serious lead here. And a good lane switch plus pre-log. Poison barely saves that. And you're seeing here both the power of the Evo Archers and the power of the Evo Knight with that little exchange. I just don't know how Pandora comes back and wins this at this stage. The bomb tower is too readily available. The wall breakers just aren't going to connect. And the Evo Archers are just so nasty. And another wall breaker hits. We're going to set number 5, folks. We are going to set number 5. Get your popcorn, get your snacks, and get ready. And kaboom. And I'm going to go ahead and update our nice little bracket situation here for you. And there you go, all tied up 2-2. Can you actually win cash from this? Yes, there's $35,000 on the line in this specific bracket. SK beat Tribe and took PUIGINS to set 5. She wasn't enough to qualify. I disagree. It's a shame that I honestly did not think there should have been an LCQ for this event. It was a closed circuit, 8-team league where they played a ton of matches all season. I did not think there was any reason for an LCQ that would suddenly upend all the points that have been earned from the season. I think an LCQ makes sense when you have an open system and randoms can qualify in a last chance qualifier. But when you have a closed league like this one has, I think the LCQ doesn't actually fit in the format of this league. So, I mean, it's unfortunate that SK wasn't able to go all the way and get the points and qualify, but also SK was one of the bottom 2 teams in the league after months of league play, after 2 splits of league play. So they shouldn't have had the opportunity to LCQ, in my opinion. Where's the prize money come from? Supercell and sponsors. There's no tournament entrance fees. That's not part of the Clash Royale esports system. The Rogue, you ready for the holidays? Yeah, just finished Hanukkah. It was a great time. And now we're ready for the break. We have some fun stuff. Taking my older son, to his first NBA game pretty soon, so that's fun. I see a CR kit behind you. Oh, what, this bag? I already emptied it. There was some random merch in there. Molite and Mugi will play tomorrow, to answer that question. LCQ was so random. I don't think one of those 2 teams qualified. Well, LCQ was not. It was built into the league overall. It was part of the initial league rules. But it was. I just didn't think it made sense in a closed league system. LCQs make sense in an open system with qualifiers. Oh, I guess they're showing. Oh, that's funny. They're showing the bracket, but their bracket is opposite the one that I have. Well, I'll have to just make sure I stay up with it. There you go. Are you Jewish? Yes, I am. Rick Jr., Slayton Jr. plays basketball. I mean, he's 5, so he sort of, plays some. He'll dribble a little bit and shoot on our neighbor's hoop and stuff like that, but he's not on a team or anything. He's been on soccer teams, baseball teams. We play disc golf a whole lot. He's done some bouldering. He's doing jiu-jitsu now, which is really fun. So there you go. Is the tournament going to play all the way today, or is it split between days? Yes, this is day 1 of 4. So looking at this matchups, we have this match and the next match today. Tomorrow will be the upper bracket round 2. Friday will be lower brackets round 1 and 2. And then Saturday will be upper bracket finals, lower bracket finals, and grand finals. So it's a 4-day competition. So there you go. Hey, Rich, what is LCQ? LCQ is last chance qualifier. And a last chance qualifier is really cool in, for example, CRL from last year, not this year, but 2022. You could qualify by winning the golden tickets all year. You could also qualify for a tournament. And then they had a final extra tournament where you could maybe qualify for it, right? So last chance qualifiers are really cool when you have an open competition system. They don't make sense in a closed league. Here we go. Happy Hanukkah to all the Shalomies. Thank you. Happy Hanukkah to you, too. Today's going to be a long day then. Yeah, I mean, we only have one more match today. Oh, are ads automatic again? I keep on accidentally leaving the ads set to automatic rather than manual. Let me go ahead and change that. The ads should be manual. There we go. Sorry. I need to change that for the other days so that I can manually trigger them rather than have them go randomly. How to participate in this event. Go back in time and become a pro player and be invited to one of the team rosters. Is this going to be a recorded video after the live here because it's 1 a.m. here? Yes, the recording will be available for you to watch right after we're done here today. Interesting set of decks here. Keef running a very popular Pig Cycle deck. Interesting variation of Giant Graveyard from EGW. And hey there, we are on both YouTube and Twitch. Hey there, Elmedium. Those Evo Bats are staying alive, and this is potentially, that's it. Keef ain't breaking through this now. Been a tough day for Keef here. EGW continues to EGW. And Strangers will take game number 1. As I say, unless something insane happens, but nothing that insane will happen with the no way Evo Skellies. Evo Skellies. Oh, the Evo Skellies almost did some Evo Skellies things, which would have been fun, but they were not quite able to get there. All right, let me answer some of these questions that just popped up while we wait for game number 2. Rich, please check the Liquipedia page for stats. Oh, is Liquipedia being updated? Liquipedia's been like randomly updated. It's still not even properly updated from CRO World Finals this year. But yeah, I can go look and see if they've got some good stuff on here. Where are you? Queso Cup Teams. I don't even see that on Liquipedia. Queso Cup. Let me go look that up and see if it shows up when I look for this. Why is it showing me the original Queso Cup? Let me go look at the team organizer. Okay, other questions. Wall Breakers or Goblin Barrel, which has more versatility? Probably Wall Breakers. Goblin Barrel has been in some weird decks over the years, though. How are teams made? Are players go by their own choices? It depends on the team. Do you think CR is giving a lot of sounds to one card? Seems unfair to other champions. I don't know if it's more than other champions. Is it? I don't even know if unfair makes sense there, but all good. Sorry if this was asked before. Where's SK Gaming? They didn't qualify for the playoffs. By the way, your comment is fantastic. Makes the stream more enjoyable. Thank you very much. Never boring to watch EGW. I agree. Do I plan to get top 1,000 next season? No. When is Tribe playing and who? Tribe is playing tomorrow against the winner of this match. So there you go. That should answer all your questions. Wait, where is... That's so weird. Why can't I find this Queso Cup? I cannot find this Queso Cup on Liquipedia. So whoever said, go find it on Liquipedia, can't find it. Can you explain more briefly how teams are made? No, because I've never made a team. Sometimes the teams are like a bunch of friends coming together. Sometimes the teams are done by an esports organization. I don't know exactly how they put their teams together. Is there any lower bracket? Yes. I was just showing it. look at the screen when I show things. Let me see if I can find Queso Cup Teams Edition 2023. Okay, here we go. That was actually really annoying to find. Leaderboard. That's just points. Where do you find all the fun statistics? Overall statistics. Here we go. Oh, this has some overall win rates. That's fun. So in this specific matchup, EGW had the 5th best win rate of the year in Queso Cup teams, with 30 wins, 19 losses, 61% win rate. Surgical Goblin just over 50-50 at a 53% win rate, 37-33. Top win rates for this year in Queso Cup teams. Mugi at 73% with 52 games won. Mohamed Light at 71% with 64 games won. Is this Surgical Goblin? Asked Pepe Who, and yes it is. And finally no Evo Archers. Yeah, Evo Bats on both sides. Fascinating. You do see it's because the Archers are banned in this set. So that would explain it. Graveyard in. Bowler tanks long enough for a little bit of Skellies to build up. Does Surgical... I don't think Surgical pops the ability here. I think he lets that die. Smart. Very smart. Arrows in. And you got to save the elixir here for a good defensive play. And Surgical Goblin does that. Currently leading by about 450 in the right-hand lane, as now he goes dual lane pressure with the Bowler countering the Little Prince. And now giant graveyard push left-hand lane. You're going to see how nicely the Bowler counters this Little Prince. Does not get, because it was on the opposite side of the board, did not get the last bowl. And that allows the counter push to actually happen. But you still see this dual lane pressure might get the lead back. And it will. Bowler, does it miss? No, it does not. 200 HP lead plus for EGW. But now Graveyard Bowler, Little Prince in, arrows to clear the Evo Bats. And the Giant does get 2 shots on the tower, plus Graveyard damage. And just like that, lead goes right back to Surgical Goblin. Minute 40 left. Snowball to make room. The Bats are being tanked for. Little Prince on tower. And that's GG. That's well played. That's a thumbs up. We are all tied up in set number 5. What year was your favorite Clash Royale World Finals? Says Jimmy Stick. Favorites for different reasons, right? It's so hard to choose a favorite. 2019 had phenomenal moments, and it was our biggest crowd. We had a crowd of 1,200, I think was the total crowd there. I think that event was just super, super fun. Each one is kind of, like, they all have something special, right? Japan in 2018, getting to spend like 10 days in Tokyo, meeting seeing everybody, exploring the city. Like that was the full experience of it. You know, we barely even rehearsed for that one because we didn't have a lot of stuff to do. We were just on the desk. So we just got to like kick it in Tokyo and have fun. That's where Andrew and I got a lot closer as friends. We're getting closer with all the Immortals guys who were there representing NA for World Finals. It was fun. 2019, SK versus Liquid. How do you replace the performances? Like that had some of the best performances, and that crowd was like was a pop-off crowd. It was the best crowd we ever had in front of. 2022 was really exciting, and I think was probably the best gameplay that we saw at any World Final. Was 2022. I think that was the best overall World Final for gameplay by a fairly large margin. And then 2023 is, this last year, was my favorite in terms of like what we got to do as casters. I really enjoyed, I was really proud of my work this year at World Finals. So there you go. All different. SK did not win the Queso Cup last week. They fell short in the last chance qualifier and did not get enough points to overcome their dismal performance from the rest of the year. So there you go. Firkin comes into today with a 45% win rate over the course of the regular season, plus the LCQ. One second, folks. Wilmo Light play today. He will play tomorrow. And I looked away to handle a message here, and Surgical Goblin opens things up right as I look away. That's the pretty standard. Feels like it's what happens when you're casting. You look away for a second, and all the big things happen, especially if you're soloing. As I am today. 15-17, though. Surgical Goblin won't need a lot to win this one, as he's in a really great position now. He'll get one, maybe two here. Little Prince gets into the fast enough damage to prevent two. But now back to Evo RG. Electro Spirit should be available to slow down this damage. And he's not going to worry about it. Gets one. Firkin now with his opportunity. But the Barb Barrel is going to make that a huge problem. And now, does the Little Prince ability come out? It does, and Evo RG will get very little for Firkin. And Firkin's forced to pretty much ignore that left-hand lane to defend this right-hand lane, but look at the damage now. And now it's the left-hand lane's even worse. RG then makes the right-hand side into a bigger problem, 596. Surgical Goblin has to call out this Guardian quickly, and he does. Royal Giant should get one more here. Does it get a third? And it does. Huge. I don't think it's enough for Firkin to win this one, but you never know. That's a very important Electro Spirit for Surgical Goblin. Does it hit? It does. He gets one, and he gets two. GG. Well played, Surgical Goblin. Now with match point for Team Queso after what has been an insanely close matchup, as you guys can see in those numbers. Let's see. Best deck in the game according to me, no deck. Nice disc collection behind you, my dude. Disc Golf for life. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, these are all none of these are in the bag. Actually, this actually has to go in the bag. You know what? I was wondering where this was, and I just saw it right now. The McBeast 6X, but it's the Luna, and I need an overstable putter for throwing. I don't have a good throwing putter in my bag. I don't have a good stable throwing putter in my bag because I putt with Wizards. And this is actually to go. This is, you know what? You're seeing it right here. This is going in the bag. As of today, this is going in the bag. So there you go. Let me go ahead and put this over here so I remember. That's pretty fun. Reminder where we are. All tied up 2-2. Match point here for Team Queso to go ahead and face Stranger or Tribe Gaming tomorrow. No Evo R's Ice Spirit today, and that one, nope. Max asking, is Little Prince too OP? Yeah, it's still too strong, I think. Do I think Logbait make a comeback in the meta? At some point, yeah. Back to the Ultimate Frisbee days. Yeah, oh, I played Ultimate for many years as well. All right, here we go. 6 Loon for Surgical Goblin. Praise. Are the different types of throwing discs? Yes, for disc golf, there are many different types. For Ultimate Frisbee, there's one. For disc golf, there are many types. Can Pandora be the hero here? He got the win against Surgical Goblin in the... in the 1v1 earlier. Can he do it again? Evo'd recruits now. Baby Dragon out of cycle. And look at Little Prince go. Oh, does get one touch, but still holds. And the Guardian not going to tank here for the graveyard. And Little Prince will clear a lot of that out. This is kind of a nasty pressure play here. And good job meeting the Evo Knight at the bridge by Surge. I don't think he gets a significant breakthrough here. And you see that Rage just out of range of that Loon. So just death damage here. 42 seconds left. Pandora finally getting on some real offense with the Graveyard and Baby Dragon connecting. And that's what he needs to do. Pandora needs to get the Baby Dragon on tower more. If he can find a chance to counter push when Surge is low, then of course he can get some good graveyard damage. But I think he's actually going to get more value out of Baby Dragons, maybe even Poisons. What a night. I am almost shocked that Knight distracted the Inferno from the Little Prince. But there you go. And see, look, here we go. Poison Cycle, call the Guardian in to clear all this out. And now maybe you Graveyard. You have the Elixir for it. Decides not to because he has to defend this left-hand lane instead. 874 to 2039. Pandora really looking good for sending us to another set, but that Tombstone's out of position. And I don't know if Pandora can get to another one. Snowball is going to... There you go. NATO pulls. Good threatening play here, but then Surgical Goblin rotates his Little Prince into the weak side tower, giving crazy poison value. He can't be doing that right now. I know you want Little Prince on that lane, but there's too much poison value there. Here he goes, just straight Lumberloon push, left-hand lane. Lumberjack in, but Little Prince already on the balloon, and Rage won't do anything because of the NATO. Surge trying to find some way, any way, to make it happen. But Baby Dragon, NATO, Tombstone, Poison, Little Prince. And Pandora needs to play the get out of jail free card here, and he does. Good cycle, though. Can Surgical Goblin use 3-card cycle to get Loons in position in time and get one big breakthrough play? This could be the play. This could be the moment. Arrows clear the Tombstone. Back to another one. And NATO will clean it up, and that's it. We're going to game number 5. For the match. Game 5 coming up. And you know what? With the way that this matchup has been going today, you got to feel it. You gotta appreciate that we're going to a BO1 to decide the match. Rich, have you received any gift from Supercell? If yes, what was the last one? The last one I got was at World Finals, this cool bag behind me, and all the stuff that came in it. I don't know where I put all the stuff that came in it, to be honest. There's like a Valkyrie down there. There's some other cool stuff. Don't you think Bowler just came out of nowhere. Out of meta. No, it didn't come out of the meta. It's meta out of nowhere. It's, first of all, it's like a magic archer with how long it goes. But the bowler is great against recruits, great against Little Prince. So yeah, no, it didn't come out. Do I get gifted a lot? Like stuff from Supercell, or do I get gifted subs a lot? The poison spill breaks my heart. Don't know what you mean by that. Tornado equals get out of jail free card. Yeah, in that matchup, that's the one. Is it necessary to video cam while playing? Yes, it's a requirement for this tournament. It's so much more fun to watch when you can see their expressions. You know what I mean? How did Pandora win that? What do you mean? He had like 1,000 counters to that graveyard. Like that was, I don't understand what you mean there. How did Pandora win that? Pandora won that because he had Tombstone, Baby Dragon, Poison, Tornado, Little Prince. So, wait, that bag is so cool. Yeah, the bag's really rad. But it's white and nice. I don't want to like use it. So it's going to sit in the background forever, which is fine. Cool collection of sunglasses. Thank you very much. Reminder, folks, winner of this next game moves on to the upper bracket round 2 against Tribe Gaming. The loser will drop to the lower bracket round number 1 and play on Friday for their lives. Love from India, especially for the glasses. Thank you. Could you explain what control means, like minor control? Control means that the focus of your gameplay style is to just kind of try to control the map rather than you're not trying... Okay, so like the basic archetypes. Maybe it's easier. Beatdown is about getting a big tank like Golem or Lava are the most traditional ones and putting a bunch of stuff behind it to make a big downhill push that blows through the towers for hopefully a 3-crown. Cycle, right, is when you're trying to use small cards to make big defensive plays, but also where a lot of the deck relies on you being able to play very quickly the other small cards to get back to your win condition so that you out-cycle their defensive responses. Control is about trying to basically stall out the game, not allow damage, and win based off of chip. So the most like kind of classic control deck is minor control, minor poison control, where you play a bunch of defensive cards to not let your opponent get damage, and then you get little chip damage with minors, poisons, and maybe logs. Control decks tend to win by playing the full 5 minutes and going to tiebreaker, as opposed to destroying an actual tower. Cycle and control kind of merge nowadays, though. In many ways, yeah. They've always been closely related, but they've definitely merged a bit. Amir saying, Rich, you are S tier in your work. Respect. Thank you very much. Giant Graveyard, the choice for DarkAngel in this final game. And he's having trouble controlling these mortars. Interesting full send here. Using his mini P.E.K.K.A. Evo Knight in front of the Little Prince is good, and Little Prince now calls the Guardian in. Very low on Elixir is Pandora right now. But not able to break through. What a defense. What a defense by Pandora to maintain his lead, 25-79 to 20-49. You forgot bridge spam. Yeah, I wasn't saying all the different archetypes. Bridge spam is about winning fights at the bridge and then overwhelming your opponent after winning a bridge fight and taking advantage of them being low in Elixir. Justin Webb saying, I wish Rich could still buy merch for Clash Royale whenever they don't sell it anymore. Well, hopefully they bring it back. Graveyard tanks for half a second. Those arrows are nice, though. They're going to open up enough for, I think, 1 or 2 skeletons to hit. There we go. There's one. Snowball does a bit more. DarkAngel does have to control Mortar. That's a nice miner. Look at this. Look at this miner's going to do here. Boom. Oh, I thought it was going to go. The Skelly Drags prevent it. That Mortar from Pandora almost, or that miner from Pandora almost led to a Mortar connection, which would have been tremendous. But the Skeleton Dragons took that knight off the board a half second too early. That's a big giant connection that keeps DarkAngel in it behind by 104 HP right now. And because Pandora is feeling the need to save these poisons for graveyards, you can see that DarkAngel is pretty comfortable cycling that little prince into his weak side tower. And Pandora is just having to spend everything and barely stay alive here. Goblin's high, and he's sequencing really late, the best that he can. Has to get a poison down. He's not going to be able to control this. This should be DarkAngel getting it. DarkAngel's calling good game. DarkAngel's calling good game here. Bold. He's probably right, because he is against Mortar Miner. And he's just continuing. Look at the way he's just spamming this bridge. Never letting up. And the little bow from DarkAngel. And Team Queso gets the win all the way in our 5th game of our 5th set. Very, very well played. Oh, and there you go. There's the bracket. Let me come back over here. Let me keep the bracket up for you guys. Let me switch the music to my music. And I'm gonna go ahead and update my bracket because they kept theirs up so short. Let me go up here and go upper bracket. That's gonna be Team Queso doesn't go there, do they? What is happening? Why is this all darn it. I wish they had left the bracket up a little bit longer, because that was a little bit funky there. They did have Queso going on to face Tribe, right? In that upper bracket, or am I totally wrong? Man, they kept it up for so short as I'm trying to update my slightly better one. Is it over? No, we have one more match coming up next, folks. We are not done yet. Not done at all. Let's see. Did they give us like a... I think they gave us one of these brackets, didn't they? Caster's Chat. Did they give us a... maybe it's in here? Did they give us a bracket somewhere, anywhere? What a silly... let's see. Yes, Tribe. Oh, that's old. Why would they do it like this? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now I have the bracket. Yes, Queso versus Tribe. Okay. Yeah, the way they have the bracket built doesn't do that, unfortunately, which is really annoying. Let me go ahead and turn off that result, because I do want to just have this. Can I? Man, they really set this up in a weird way. Let me go ahead and put you here. And let me go ahead and put you here. All right. And then I don't know where they said the lower bracket match would go, but I'm just going to go ahead and put them in the lower bracket somewhere. Round 1, lower bracket. That is going to be Strangers, who will have no result yet. All right. We finally got, let me actually put this bracket out. This was just built kind of funky. I had to make some adjustments, but here we go. Boom. There we go. There's one more look at the bracket. So Chivas shot CALALAS coming up next in a couple of minutes. Oh, coming up now. Never mind. Winner of this will go on to face PUIGINS. Let's jump right into it. Amelie, I'm very late starting the stream. From the beginning, I want to say thanks for all the great content. Hope you have a great holidays. Thank you so much. Not shock. SK CALALAS is shock CALALAS. That's what the SK thing is for. Jeff Wenson, bye. Thanks for waiting. Wait, there's more? Yes! We're into our second match of the day. We have 2 matches today, folks. Rich Slate, how to become a cyber sportsman in Clash Royale? That's the funniest way to ask that. It must be a translation thing. Win. There you go. What year do you think Clash Royale had its peak? It'll be 2025 will be when it peaks. Bracket is in Wikipedia. Got it. I see it there too. So, Shock CALALAS does have a pretty devastating roster for this competition. Where do they put the rosters? Please organize everything a little more easily. So, it's all available at one easy click. Did they put this in the pinned areas? Maybe it's here. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, full roster for CHIVAS. Anaban, DiegoB, Ardentoas, Betfas, and Pompeyo. Full roster for Shock CALALAS, Ruben, Sub, Sandbox, Adriel, and Piedra. Aziz saying, I get there's 2 SK calls, me almost shot. Yeah, oh, sorry. It's PUIGINS and Shock CALALAS. True. What happens if the 2 CALALAS teams face each other? Then one of them wins, one of them loses. Rich, I know you want an ice goal in Evo. How about Muskie after that? She needs some love. Yeah, Muskie's a little dead at the moment. Just outstripped by too many things. There's too many things that all play the same role, essentially, right? I wonder what that waterfall is in Ruben's picture, in Ruben's room. Evo Archer's just making a home in the middle. Ruben is back to another Tesla and spreads it out really far, but his Archer's going to get taken out by the Phoenix. Oh no, just one of them. And good extra damage from that bowler. And Diego with the King Tower activation doesn't have to worry about that solo wall breaker to the left. Ruben can wait on that. You see Diego was trying to predict the Tesla. Or maybe predict the Goblins. Either way, funky prediction attempt there. Ruben's starting to get some momentum here as the Poison's able to get involved in triple elixir. So, okay, pretty big push. And now a bowler could come out in front of the Tesla, and it does. Gets the lightning of a target. You see Diego likes that a lot. Evo Archers to take out the Tesla. He's in a NATO for the bowler, maybe. No, chooses not to. Gets an E-Giant down again instead. Gonna have to get another lightning for the next Tesla. And it doesn't get the Tesla, but he does have the lead. Miner in, NATO's the King Tower, and DiegoB able to hold on and fight back for the win against Ruben here in game number 1. Bronze Zero Full saying, poor Chivas team never had a chance. Well, that's a pretty solid start for them. Very well done. Very well done. Diego, you talk about the nicest guys in Clash Royale. Diego, you talk about the sort of the older generation, the OGs. Diego may be the nicest guy out of the OGs for sure. Anybody who's been in Clash Royale for a long time, who's like in the scene, will every once in a while, like every year to 18 months, get a DM from Diego being like, "Hey man, it was really fun back in the day when we were able to do Clash Royale stuff together. I appreciate you." And you're like, "Oh, thanks, Diego." Just a generally good guy. Jeff Wenson, love to see Diego be back. Yeah, I agree. Chivas are good. Chivas have a squad. They certainly have a squad. Ardentoas is super legit. When this will end, you keep saying one more game. We're in our second match, Gaming. We finished match number 1. We have a whole second match. We're in Chivas shot CALALAS, so we're going to be here for another potentially between 3 and 5 sets. So there you go. We're going to be here for a while. Chivas has Anaban, DiegoB, Ardentoas, Betfas, Pompeyo. Betfas is underrated. Ardentoas is legit. DiegoB, we saw can get some wins here. Anaban is really hard to evaluate outside of being us. You'd think that his sniping ability would translate really well to competitive, and it did for like one season in the No Tilt Special Edition, but it has not been able to live, has not been able to stay alive. And then Pomp can ball. On paper, though, Shot CALALAS is the better team. Ruben, Sub, Sandbox, Adriel, Piedra should win. What team is the best in CR? Shot CALALAS or PUIGINS, technically, but the whole Shot organization, the whole Shot CALALAS organization has all the best players. I mean, they really are insanely stacked. Dybala saying Diego's known as a rage DMer. Aren't you known as a rage DMer, Dybala? I feel like I see screenshots of you getting into arguments all the time on Twitter. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't follow all the internal emotional politics of Clash Royale ladder players who DM each other when they lose. But I feel like I see screenshots. Could be wrong. Love from Bangladesh. Thank you very much. I have not seen. Do they have the lineups? Okay. That's how you want to do it. All right, here we go. By the way, CALALAS is a Spanish organization. Yes, it is. Of that I am aware. All right, so it's going to be Diego, Betfas, Pompeyo for Chivas, and Ruben, Piedra, Adriel for CALALAS. So let's see how Diego does here against Piedra, our number 2 World Finals finisher from this year. And at least Dybala opening, acknowledging yes. You've definitely seen that. All right. Piedra, the 2023 almost champion. Yeah, going in with in the upper bracket. It's interesting that we've now, in 2 consecutive World Finals, seen the champion come from the lower bracket and win and get the bracket reset. It is fascinating. But Piedra won game number 1 of the upper bracket, of the grand final from the upper bracket, and just had to win one of the next 2. And then Mugi just had a different thing in mind. I'm interested in this Royal Giant deck, swapping out both Zappies and Mother Witch for the Evo Archers and the Phoenix is really interesting. I think this would be, has people tried this with Zappies and Evo Archers? Because it feels like that would be potentially really nasty. Or stick with the Evo RG. Nice King Tower activation there by Pedro. That's a lot of damage for what I would say the breakout player of the year for Pedro. I don't think there's another really great... I mean, the second best candidate would be Clown. But I think Pedro, between his performances on Path of Legends and in CRL, I think Pedro's pretty clear for my vote for breakout player of the year. Is Fireball there yet? This is so gross, the Evo Archer split here at the bridge that lets him do so much. Doesn't keep the Evo Archer up, but gets a lot of RG damage on the right-hand side. And still going to get this Evo Archer to the left-hand side to threaten and get 2 huge shots, 3 huge shots. Oh, my word. Diego just cannot believe it. Diego cannot believe it. Brutal. Devastating. And Pedro in the groove. That's a wall breaker connection there. Tombstone a little bit late. I don't think it's going to be consequential. But Pedro going a little aggressive here with the lead that he has. I don't think it's going to matter, though. So I think he can, with these Evo Archers, just murder a Mega Knight. Yeah. All right. Let's deny that. That guy should get banned. Hold on. Fireball in. Pedro evens things up. What was that guy's name? I forget. Oh well. Oh well. I feel like there's a pressure being the winner's bracket opposed to the loser's bracket. The expectation pressure is to lessen on the loser's side and amplify the winners. Maybe. I think this MK deck is... I wasn't talking about Zappies in the MK deck. I was talking about the RG deck. What's your definition of a rookie? Because technically Pedro played CRL last year. This was Clown's year competing events. I think he's rookie of the year. Like, Pedro kind of played last year. That's why I said breakout player of the year rather than rookie of the year. Let's see. Do you think Wizards should get spawn damage like that there was? I think so. Yeah, I actually do believe it should. Rich, would you agree with the intro of Evo's Moonlight struggling within the game micros and macros? I don't know if he's struggling with micros and macros. I think that just, again, I've talked about this a lot, but since the introduction of Evos, the win rates of the top players came down by like 7 to 15%, and the win rates of the middle players went up by about the same. So that's what I saw happen with all those different things. Let's see. You're going to get that. Thank you. Split bridge play was crazy. The split bridge play was great. Was tremendous. And here we go. Betfas. Second up for CHIVAS. Pedro looking like RG again. I mean, Betfas looking like RG. Pedro looking like Hog. It's interesting to see Evo Firecracker when it costs the same as Evo Archers, doesn't give you the split lane value, doesn't have the defensive value. I mean, it doesn't matter. Look at this. Look at this. Pedro just smashing there. Does that mean Evos close down? I believe that Evos have closed. Yes, have done that. They have closed the skill gap, and of course also the Goblin Giant meta. Wolves baseball 9s, and how do I get little Prince to start playing again? Ugh. You're gonna have to get it from a box or from an offer or something, because it was given away for free to everybody when it was released. Well, that's a lot of free damage from that Evo Firecracker. And this should be GG, well played. Pure domination from Piedra. Not much less for Betfas to do other than go back and think about what he did and hope he gets a better matchup next game. But Piedra now with gonna have a chance for a sweep after he holds on here for the next 27 seconds. That's a little dicey there. Good NATO to pull the Firecracker away. This is a little dicey here, but no lightning. And you see Betfas tried to do it. Piedra holds on. 2 up, 2 down. Piedra looking for the sweep. Piedra looking for the sweep. Would love to get his team up 1 here. I think the ban concept should come into WC too. What do you mean WC? What's WC? Piedra defeated Betfas' main deck. Yeah, nice. I didn't know that was Betfas' main deck. I thought Betfas was an Expo player. I guess he switched to something else. I guess so. Yeah, Betfas an Expo player, but maybe he's been playing with Hog since Expo is not very good right now. How do I get out of mid ladder? Win more games. That should be obvious. Prokit saying, I think more cards coming in as evolutions. The game's getting much more matchup based. It doesn't matter if something. I think that more cards isn't necessarily. But Evos, I think, are not good for it. Airsurfer just came here to say 100% need Elixir expecting removed. It needs maybe be limited only, like it's accessible for like casters or whatever, because it's super helpful when we're for broadcast. But I understand that it's bad for competition. Why is SK Gaming not in this tournament? They are because they were eliminated. Oleg, they were one of the bottom 2 teams in the regular season, and then they had to completely win the last chance qualifier to make it in, and they didn't. Oh, World Championship. That's a I don't see everyone. I don't see anyone abbreviate World Championship. 50 gifted if you make it happen. All right. Well, we use dual mode in the World Championship, so bans. It'd be interesting to have dual mode plus bans, but I don't think that they want to do that. Did I watch the Marvels? No. How do I count card cycle and elixir? With your brain mostly. That's how I would do it. Not on your hands because you're trying to, use them to play. What do you think about Leon assisting on grappling with Colby? I didn't watch it because I will not pay for any pay-per-view that Colby Covington's on. I refuse to put money in that man's pocket, so I did not watch it. I watched some highlights later. I'm very glad that Leon beat him, and I wish Leon had knocked him out. But, yeah. Didn't really watch it. Stop saying Evo eliminate skills, everything evolves with time. I'm not saying that Evo eliminates skill. But I'm saying that Evo very clearly, the evidence is very clear. You can talk to pretty much any pro player, and you can look at the data that since Evolutions, the skill gap, the win rate gap between the top players and the next tier of players has closed. It has gotten smaller. So, like, there's empirical evidence plus the opinions of all the best players in the world. So I'm going to put those two together and say it seems pretty clear that Evolution has closed the skill gap. Not all the way, but definitely has brought it closer than it was before. Is Molet competing? Yes, he'll be competing tomorrow. How do I feel about tower update? Too early to tell. Piedra riding this Evo Firecracker. Ooh, yeah, that hog is going to get one, but free fireball shot on it. Here we go. Plenty of elixir here for Piedra. Going to go low with the Firecracker. And Pompeyo just shut down there. How do I get better at counting card cycle and elixir? I am not the right person to ask for that question. But in general, theoretically, is with card cycle, just focus on the key cards that affect the matchup, like key cards that they have to counter your win condition or other key elements, and key cards that you need to have stuff in cycle to counter, right? So keep track essentially of their win condition, keep track of their main counters to your deck. Don't try to keep track of every single card in the cycle. And then with elixir, just paying attention to the feel. Gaming with stick. I was talking about card bans in monthly final, CRL monthly and final matches. I don't think they want to do. They already have dual mode, which essentially does do card bans. You know, after each game ends up banning quote unquote 8 cards. I don't think Supercell wants to add artificial card bans on top of that system already. And with a meta that doesn't have specifically super broken cards, it shouldn't be necessary. I think a better solution is to have open duels, like normal duels, rather than the closed in-game pre-submitted duels. That's a nice hog. And that's a lovely EQ snowball to get the archers off the board. Very nice from Piedra. This Evo Archer, or this Evo Firecracker, I think will do enough to stop the RG from getting too many shots, but and you see a nice read there from Piedra, recognizing he was not going to get much of anything, much if anything, really, from using the Mighty Miner on that. So he goes for the Mighty Miner bomb. Piedra needs to get back to a second Ice Spirit here, and he does. Now, oh, but the RG shot! But the RG shot snuck in! What a cheeky little shot there. And Pompeyo will get the win. Let me go ahead and set that replay up because what a cheeky little shot to steal that one in the end. I thought that Piedra had done just enough, but that Royal Giant, here we go. Take a look at this replay. You're going to see that this Mighty Miner bomb, really smart, there's a nice lead there for Piedra. Gets the first Ice Spirit, cycling back around, uses EQ defensively to slow the RG, which, in retrospect, was that the move? I don't know. This Ice Spirit gets there, and wow, let's go back here. Maybe it wasn't the RG, it was no, let's see. Yeah, Fireball hits. And that RG just barely gets one off before that bomb tower gets down. That's crazy. That's a crazy, crazy little shot there from the RG. And there you go. Game 5 upcoming. Let's look. iGamer on Twitch saying, wouldn't that have to do less with the skill gap closing, more with the opportunity to beat hard counters? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a question, right? Is it that – that's actually a very good point, is that EVOs have made it so it's harder to like – maybe it's made the matchup situation harder. I don't know. Airsurfer, you're in the chat here on Twitch. What do you think? Have EVOs more closed the skill gap, or have they made the matchups more like harder to beat bad matchups? Or is that the same thing, essentially? I'd like to get the opinion of pros on that one. Michael John McCaffrey saying, enjoy the quality brought to the table. Thank you very much. Juicy J weighing in on Twitch. Evo is for noobs. So you don't use them, right, Juicy? Hot takes. Where's Nova Esports? Gone, I believe. I don't know. Interesting fact, with no music when you're playing, easier to play. I guess that's a personal thing. I would never, says Juicy. Thanks for the reminder here, Ahmad, for me to hydrate. What is it about CALALAS that's just going, hey, we're going to run all hog all day? Airsurfer asking, can you say the question again? The question is, did the introduction of evolutions on the just in a vacuum close the skill gap, or is there a fact that they made it harder to beat counters when there's like when you're facing a deck that has them and that deck counters you, or is that the same thing? That's the question. So Pedro ran a bit of hog. I guess we're going to just hog back to back, not the whole thing. Pompeyo just selling out here. I'm going to have to defend a hog with a lumberjack. Good high fisherman. Ice Spirit wouldn't have got there in time anyway. Cheers from Poland, says Anna. Harder to beat counter. That's Airsurfer's take. Which, again, I think that does that kind of, is that in a way closing the skill gap, that it's harder to beat counter decks? The game is more matchup dependent because of Evos? Oh, Adriel high with the Tesla, going to take death damage here. Still has the lead, but not ideal. Airsurfer saying, I'd essentially say it's essentially the same thing, but more related was the first point about closing the skill gap, making it easier to beat good matchups, but gives more opportunity with Evos in hand to make plays to beat hard matchups. That was a big push here. Adriel needs Tesla. The rage is a serious problem, though. Snowball gets the loon in, and wow, Pedro Whoa! Did Pedro... I thought for a second that Pedro looked away and threw. I thought for a half second that Pedro looked away and threw. Or that Pompeyo looked away and threw. Not Pedro, Pompeyo. Man. What a game. What a game indeed. Let me go ahead and update us on the... where are we at? Where are we at here? Upper bracket, CHIVAS Esports, and CALALAS. Where are those items? There we go. Pompeyo, very nicely done. Taking set number 1. Let me go ahead and... No, I didn't want that. I didn't want that. Being your own graphics op. Not ideal. All right, there you go. Boom. Results so far. Pompeyo with Loon is GOAT. I feel you on that one. Let's see. Oh, the cams are ahead of the gameplay. I can see Pompeyo looking away before the arrows went down. Maybe. Airsurfer. In conclusion, Evos are a pretty good idea, but they should be nowhere near as strong as some are. I agree. I think that the stat buffs are... I like Evos having a different mechanic. I don't like them having insane stats. That is my feeling on Evos. That is my feeling on Evos. Nice opening set here for CHIVAS. Well fought. Well battled. Looked like they were in lots of trouble here. Pompeyo deck viable for ladder or just a snipe deck? It depends on if you're Pompeyo or not. Evos for noobs enough to get votes in upcoming presidential elections. UCJ for the win. Possible. Domino's hat. Not a Domino's hat. But I see why you would think that. Well, they keep adding only one Evo per month 2021. No, they got a bunch of Evos coming up. The Night Evo is a super cool idea. I agree with this. But when it got released, it was insane, and still now it's broken. Yeah, and I think that what I like is when Evos change how you play the card, right? So I like that Night Evo, the shield is on when it's moving, right? So now there's more incentive to play the Knight in a way. I've talked about this a lot on these streams. But there's incentive to play the Knight in a way where the Knight is moving, which changes how you think about that card. Archers shooting farther when they're evoed is sort of a change. I think that, like, just shooting farther, I think that if they lost their stat buff, but they shot farther and maybe pierced like a magic archer, that might be interesting, right? I don't know. But yeah, again, thinking about Evo archers at least are farther away, so it, again, changes how you play them a little bit. I think that Evo recruits are... I mean, I already think recruits are a bad design concept in the first place. But doesn't change much. Recruits for how the card is, which I know you don't think it's a card in the game, and I agree. I know you think... Airsurfer agrees that recruits should not be in the game. I agree. The Evo is also fine, but they shouldn't be charging that fast. Sure. But I think they need a dramatic rework. Juicy J saying Evo Ice Bear is an example of how they should be. Let me see if that... Do you guys hear that sound problem? Is that on my end? Oh no, it's definitely coming from them. Because I see other casters chatting in the production chat. Useless then. Yeah, I just think that... I don't know if even the concept of Evo Ice Spirit is anything other than a gimmick. Right? Is there actually a use to Evo Ice Spirit? Or is it just a gimmick? It feels like just a gimmick, which I don't think Evos should be gimmicky. Game is a little bit late behind the player cam reactions. Yeah, I wonder if they can fix that. Also, player cams appear to be ahead of gameplay. Letting that known to the production studio as well. Juicy J said, I think Evo should not give crazy extra value, but they should have... The evolution should have a point, should have a purpose, right? It shouldn't just be a gimmick. That's my theory on evolutions, right? So Evo's having big stat buffs, I think, is a negative. Evo's having a mechanic that is used differently that does make them better than the normal version of the card, I think is good. What that means, that's a hard question to answer. Okay, I'm turning the sound off until they fix this, because this is crazy bad. I'm just killing the game sounds. I'll check them up and check them again in a minute. Sorry, folks. That was just starting to hurt my ears with all that crunchiness. Nice little King Tower activation, but solid lead here for Pedro. Michael John McCaffrey saying that once there's more Evos, the skill gap will broaden again. I hope so. I hope that's the case. We will see. Yet I am reserving judgment there. Let's see. Final 10. It's so hard to even pay attention when the sound's off. Let me see if it's on crunchy now. Nope, still all messed up. I'll be leaving that off. Unfortunate. Monk Reflection gets a little bit here. Sorry, I'm looking at 7 things at once and trying to figure out what's up with the sound situation. Again, it's not on my end. It's on the production studio's end. They will fix it as soon as they can. Hog gets 1. Log not early enough to get 2 out of it. RG keeps it close, 300 HP separated. And that Hog is going to get 1 here. A very nice one. Evo Archer not going to get the extra value, but still forces a lot of responses. And now Betfas sets up in the back. Easy counter to the Hog here. And this is going to be a few good shots for the Evo RG. The bomb tower, no, does redirect. Nicely redirected, 1242 to 1725. Well, audio's way down for a minute, but we can just barely hear it. It is still kind of crunchy, though, unfortunately. Does Pedro switch to defense and EQ cycles here with the Mighty Miner down? He goes Hog in the middle. Fisherman does turn and get the Hog. The Fisherman not turning towards his target is kind of weird. It's super weird, in fact. Evo RG plays into the right-hand side. Classic RG to the left-hand lane. 12 seconds left. Ice Spirit plus Bomb Tower. Log might have gone to the wrong side here as the Fireball comes in. Nope, Bomb Tower back around. Does Pedro need any spells? No, he doesn't. He's able to hold off Betfas and get the win here. All right, so Bomb Tower out, Mighty Miner, Evo Archers, and they're taking a break here to try to fix the sound. But we are in a duel, so we have to jump right back in. Kind of all over the place right now. All should be Ice Spirit is more than just a gimmick. It's usable. Just other ones too strong. I don't know. We'll see. It is been PUIGINS and CALALAS. They're same org, different teams. How do they feel about Tower Troops? I don't know yet. We'll see. Just here to enjoy your commentary, says Fear. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. My name is Andres, and my name is Rich. All right, here we go. Did they fix the sound? Nope, it's still messed up. Unfortunate. Fisherman looking the wrong way was a bug or a change? I don't really know, actually. I haven't followed up on it. Let's see. Out of the 4 of you, who do you think is the best CR commentator? I don't know. That's a weird question. They're still working on the sound issue, folks. So as soon as we have it again, we'll get it. Renos. Yeah, sure. I'll stop it. Splash Yard for Pedro. Graveyard Giant for Betfas. And I can still barely hear the game sounds. They are still crunchy. And they've killed the game sound for a moment. Is it cold in Texas at the moment? It's not too bad. Could be worse. Tombstone Poison, I think, is the play here. And there you go. And a good baby dragon. When does Pedro choose to go in? I think he's not going to go in for a while. Juicy J, cannot be colder than Finland. No, it's much warmer than Finland. Jonathan saying, what happened to Pompeyo? I thought he beat Pedro. That was the last set. That was the set number 1 where he beat Pedro in game 5 of King of the Hill. We are now in set number 2, the 1v1 dual mode set. Hey, they fixed the sound. Let's go. When does Pedro get on offense here? Betfas. Archer's high. This would feel like an opportunity, but I think Pedro's really nervous about overspending. He changed into Pompeyo and went to bed. Yes. Pompeyo returns. I don't know if the lane switch was the right move for Betfas here. Was it the right move? Oh, the fact that Pedro has to use the poison on defense is giving the Little Prince so much more value. And this has got to be Pedro's swing right here. Good baby dragon. He's not going to pop the poison because he doesn't want to go down to 0 here. It might have been the move to get him a ton of damage, but with the snowball and arrows available for Betfas, it probably was more of a danger than a win. And those are great Evo archers. Great Evo archers. Dark Prince is counter tanking. And this is just getting worse and worse for Pedro here. Betfas looking like he's going to tie up our second set. Good pressure with the graveyard. And Pedro's just had so little opportunity to get on any meaningful offense. He only had one real offensive push all game. And now he's going to go in hard on the right. I don't see Betfas having trouble defending this. You have to NATO, you have to poison. You have to play something small on the Dark Prince. You're not going to get anything out of it. And there we go. Game number 3 on its way. Airsurfer saying, but that's how you win with Splash Yard. Not as easy because you can't drop Ice Whiz on the GY anymore, but you want to defend without poison and use NATO on offense. If you can defend without poison, but the problem was that Pedro had to keep defending with poison. And Betfas not liking something here. Also, Evo Archers may have ruined the bit, not because they kill Baby Dragon so fast. Yes, they do. And he had to defend the Graveyard with poison, so he couldn't get to the Evo Archers. Nice little wall breaker connection. Boom. Oh, I like that play from Pedro. The NATO will get the King Tower activation, but I like the idea he was going for there. Really good concept. And got some good damage. You know, I'm wondering if that exchange of damage was worth the King Tower activation. You're so far ahead now. Arrows weren't phenomenal. But now with 80 seconds left in single, Pedro untouched. Betfas has lost almost half his tower HP. And the more that Pedro can do that, the more that Pedro can make sure that the NATO isn't there available on offense, the better for him. Obviously, he's going to mostly engage the E-Giant with, oh, that ghost swing was really bad for Betfas. He's going to mostly engage the E-Giant up front with the Prince and the Ghost and such. Right? You're playing Firecracker rather than Archers, so you're not as susceptible to the NATO problems. But take tools out of Betfas's belt the best you can. Having no building is going to be tough here, but the DPS will be enough for this first exchange. And look at that. You can't spend the NATO on that on saving that baby dragon there. So now these bats get to come all the way across. Arrows come in. Pandemonium. Mega Knight leaps, and that's it. Pedro ties us up. 1-1. Very well played. I think I have a replay for you guys. Let me just double check. Can't remember always when I grab replays. Is this one from this matchup? Or is that an old one? Let's take a look. No, that's an old one. That's from the last one. Okay. I could not remember if I'd grabbed a replay or not. So we are. Oh, they're just going to show it themselves. Okay. They're saying, hey, Rich, you don't need to do that. We'll do it for you. Well, thanks. Thanks, production. For those of you just joining us, sorry for the spoiler alert. You can go back and watch that later if you'd like. But there you have it. Let's see. Probably hee-hee-ho. Oh, someone asked about the most toxic emotes. Yawning Princess, Crying Anything, but really the Crying Skeleton. What's the other one? What's the other one that I really hate? What is the other one that I really hate? I can't remember. Any idea why this stream doesn't background play on YouTube? Is it something you choose or a setting thing for all items? It should background play fine. That might be on your end. Dancing Skeleton, the Rainbow Prince, the Pig Butt. Why this? You've asked this question 1,000 times. I don't even understand what you're talking about. Bush Gaming. Why, if someone wins a match with that win condition, says that that player is the goat of that thing? No one's saying that. I don't know what you're talking about. What about SK Gaming? They are not in the playoffs. They did not qualify. Laughing Goblin. Yeah, that one's pretty brutal. The me Goblin, the new one. It's super annoying right now. Hello. Yeah, I'm with you on that. It is super annoying. Hog Screaming. Yeah, that one's pretty nasty too. Iron Ring saying GG on Twitch. Hammer to Crown. That one is super toxic. That one is actually legitimately toxic. Underrated toxic emote. Hammer to Crown for sure. Also, calling good game early. God, calling good game. Laughing Ewiz. That one's pretty rude as well. Barbarian Chess Ping Ping Ping. Interesting choice. Mid-ladder loves at laughing Ewiz. Yeah, there's a lot of the there's a lot of that one. I hate the barbarian flexing his pecs. What the dee-doo, dee-doo, dee-doo. Yeah, the bouncing one. That one's pretty silly. All right, here we go. Hello, Rich. I have 7,500 trophies. Can I qualify? I'm going to... Well, first of all, this is the playoffs for this year-long event. So you definitely can't qualify for this. You can try to qualify for something next year. This is the last, I think, major esports event of 2024. And Descent saying all emotes. I think most of them are pretty... I think emotes are generally toxic, actually. But I was watching a stream yesterday, and they were the runner-ups with Mo's team winning. And what was that about? I watched the stream on Rush's channel. Because that was the last chance qualifier. This is a year-long event that had a spring split, a fall split, and a last chance qualifier. Teams, based on their spring and fall split performances, gained a bunch of points. The last chance qualifier, which arguably shouldn't have happened, was to give teams a last chance to get points to either change their standing and make it into the first or second position, which gets you a first round bye, or to allow some teams to fight their way out of last place and 7th and 8th place and into the top 6 who get to make playoffs. SK Gaming's performance throughout the whole season was so bad that they needed to completely win the LCQ to get the full 100 points if they were to have a chance, in order to make it into the top 6. They came in second, which was not enough points. Therefore, they are not here. Opinions on the GKR rule change. What was the GKR rule change, Airsurfer? I have not seen it. I have to go look that up. Or could you just tell me what the rule change is? Goblin blowing strawberry. Dabbing. I don't think dabbing wizard is toxic. It's like silly. It's like outdated. Rich, I reached 9,000 trophies in Ultimate Champion. Can we qualify correctly at anything at all in any tournament? You can qualify for anything at any time if you win enough during the qualifiers. Thanks for the hydrate reminder earlier. Hydrate it again. Ardentoas is playing in the dark, and it's kind of sending me a bit. Why is Ardentoas playing in the dark? What is the GKR rule change? Rulebook qualifiers. Something about the playoff seeding was changed on SP's tweet, so I don't know much about it. Yeah, I don't know I don't know anything about it either. Where do the qualifiers show up? You should be on Twitter. It's the best place to find out about most Clash Royale esports. They're also often mentioned on esports.clashroyale.com. Well, we've avoided a ton of Goblin Giant today. But Sandbox breaking the mold and breaking my heart by bringing it out here. Do I think Tower Troops will be bad for the game and the future of Clash Royale? I don't know. The game has to evolve to stay alive, and new things have to happen. So I've yet to... We'll see what happens. But the game cannot stay the same forever, folks, or eventually the game will be shut down, for it will not be profitable enough to exist. Do I think all 8 slots become evolved at some point? That would be weird, but maybe. Rocket League is the same. I don't play enough Rocket League to know the context there. Can Ardentoas break through with Evo recruits and a minor? No, he cannot. Goblin Giant, yuck. If you're in the group chat, can you please @ Sandy and tell him Goblin Giant yuck for me? Oh, and Arden showing his bad connection to the camera. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate for him. Tower Troops is a long-time community. It's maybe one of the oldest community suggestions is Tower Troops. It's been, I mean, I've been hearing people talk about Tower Troops for years. So I'm not surprised that it eventually became a part of the game. Please make it so there are more epic and rare cards. I'm not in charge of any of that. I'm not part of the game development team. I saw this point, Sahil. Thanks for making it. I am saying if a player wins a match with Balloon and all other people call that person to go to the Balloon, why? Well, you're talking specifically about Pompeyo, who was at one point the best ladder player in the game and is one of the all-time greats with Balloon. So if you're responding to that, we do have some people who are goats of certain cards or decks coming in. So I don't know, but you're talking about Balloon. That was Pompeyo, and Pompeyo's known as one of the all-time great Loon players. So. What's a Tower Troop? Go look it up. Bad connection cannot be a grounds for rematch. Yes, that's unfortunate, but it's true. Is Morten playing today? No, SK is not in this competition anymore. They were eliminated. Cool glasses, thank you. Hello. Hello to you. Brad, Goat of Minor. Very popular minor player content creator. Let's see. Here we go. Anaban up next, and someone making Sandy laugh. Interesting. E-Giant Ice Whiz? E-Giant Ice Whiz. This is interesting. Anaban bringing us something different. I do like that. Good King Tower activation by Sandbox. Can be very good against E-Giant. You can pull that E-Giant to the middle with the Tombstone. Get the King Tower involved. Underrated in E-Giant matchups, I would say. Sandbox very determined to get back to previous form and make Worlds next year. And coming off of his performance at DreamHack, being the overall season champion, you can understand why. Shamsul, my business email is listed on my YouTube channel. You can go to the contact page and you can find it there. It's a nice little set of Evo Barbarians. Baby Dragon to clean it all up. Lead for Sandy. As we are just a few seconds into double. That Baby Dragon's in a terrible spot for Sandbox. Because it means he can't Tombstone, really. And there he goes. He nanos it in. Takes some decent damage. But yeah, that Baby Dragon just in that nasty kind of like no man's land spot where it can get involved offensively, but none of the towers are targeting it. And this is looking like maybe one of the better exchanges potentially for Anaban here. His barbs will do a lot to that. And he's going to get a little bit of damage. And Anaban back in this. That's lightning value, though. This Golden Knight E-Barbs version, or Golden Knight Barbs version is very weird. Great sweatshirt from Sandbox. You're right. It's phenomenal. And a smart call by Sandy not to pop the ability. Just let that ride it out. Anaban going lane switch. Anaban has not been able to get any real value from the Golden Knight and its dashes. He might be able to find something here, but he's not going to pop the ability because it's kind of a waste at this stage. But Golden Knight's ability is so underwhelming now. 3 E-Giants with this E-Giant mirror deck. Sandbox just controlling masterfully. Very well played by Sandbox. And starts off this second King of the Hill set 2-0. Did I get the CR1 from this year? Yeah, I do have them. I have both. I have all the CRL sweatshirts. They're pretty cool. Let's see. Anaban NATO Goat. Yeah, that didn't go. Way to go, Sandy. Sandy's playing great. I think it's CRL Hood of Sandy. Yeah, let's see. Hold on. Let me go grab some. Here, I'll show you guys. Send you guys to there. Give me 1 second, folks. I'm going to walk around here. I think I have a couple of the sweatshirts hanging up over here. Let's see what I got. I don't have everything hanging in here. This year's was the white one, right? Oh, yeah, that one was pretty fire. Got some interesting ones over here, that's for sure. Let's see. Yeah, some of this year's CRL stuff. I'll bring it back around. Let me go ahead and switch back to the camera here. Some of this year's CRL stuff. This is the really cool. I like the stitch. The old ones had stitching rather than screen printing for the logo, but really cool with the little CRL stuff for the flags there. And then this was the scarf they gave away, which was pretty cool this year. And then this little T-shirt, this fresh little T-shirt with the king there on the bottom. Also very nice. Here we go. Let's jump into our game. I'm going to go hang these back up. Those were pretty cool this year. Don't you know who I am? Oh yeah, Airsurfer. I got an XL, a super small still. Yeah, dude. All the sweatshirts that have come from them have been way undersized. I'm gonna get like a super oversized one next year. Because if XL, I think I got an XL too, and if it's small on you, definitely small on me. Bring back Hale Slayton. What do you mean we have? They didn't go anywhere. What's your average disc golf score? It totally depends on the course. It totally depends on the course. Like there are some, like my main course, I average like 3 under-ish. So there's another course that's a really hard pro level course near us that I average probably like 8 over or something like that. Crazy. Just depends on the course. The one Sandbox is wearing is large and it fits perfect. Yeah, the sizes are really inconsistent. Sizes are super inconsistent on those, unfortunately. Need your home tour video. Do I have a disc golf rival? I have a friend I play with a lot who he makes it into a rivalry. He's more competitive than I am. Like as a person. My rival is myself and my focus and my ability to stay calm in the big moments and make the shots I need to make. Oh, Sandbox. You had to play Goblin Giant, and now you're going to get Goblin Gianted. Live by the sword, die by the sword, folks. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Oh, sorry, because the Hail Slayton sign. Yeah, it's still up there. Might not be in the shot, but it's up there somewhere. Well, sweet dreams were there for Sandbox. And now they're gone. Richie, a YouTube short made the match piece behind you. What, just like the... What's that remind me? Chaitanya saying, nice sunglasses, which brand? These are Gooders. Goodr. They're what I wear all the time. Yeah, Goodr. I got all the boxes down here. I do a bunch of them. Yeah, I don't really have a rival in disc golf. Yeah, my friend, I have a friend who I play with a bunch, and he kind of like... He's really big on who wins every time he plays with people. Not really my jam, but definitely compete with myself a lot. And for me, disc golf is all about just like overcoming the mental game, right? Like the 12-time world champion Ken Climo said disc golf is mostly played between the ears, which I think is kind of brilliant. And if I could improve my putting consistency, the skill set's there, but the mentality isn't there, and I get the yips pretty easily. I could be dropping my average score by like 6 strokes around if I just could get my putting together. Any aces, says Ruben. Yeah, 4. 4 aces in my lifetime. It's way up. It's way up there. Hold on, I'll take the... Oh, that's why you're not seeing the Hail Slayton, because I'm way down here. Where's the... There it is. There's the plus. If we take this up, you know what? We're going to have to wait. I'll explain more later. Let's go ahead and jump back into gameplay here. How long are you in the CRL community? I have been casting CRL since its beginning. I've been casting CRL since the very first ever CRL match. So since 2018. That's a pretty cool way to look at it. Yeah. Trying to overcome my own challenges is really what it's all about. I don't feel like if you're focused on other people when you're playing disc golf, you're doing the wrong thing, in my opinion. Focus on you. Not a lot of Cage. Maybe Ram Rider for Betfas. I feel like Cage is pretty much only with Ram Rider now. We went through a phase when Cage was super strong where you saw Cage with a lot of things, including Graveyard, because of the counter push potential of the mini tank that you get out of the Brawler. And there you go. There is the Ram Rider. And this is smart. This is Pedro going to just ignore the Ram Rider and instead go for his own big shots here. And this will get him out on top. He'll have Elixir plenty to deal with these Skelly Dragons. Slightly sloppy to give that Skeleton Dragon shot there. So he'll say, what's your main source of income other than CR? CR is in 2023, CR was my only source of income. In a variety of capacities. Did I cast anything other than... I guess I cast a couple other games a little bit this year, but pretty much almost exclusively CR this year. In 2020, in 21 and 22, I was director of production at AMG. So that was another source of income during those years. But yeah, mostly since I started casting for Clash Royale League, CR has been my primary source of income through all these years, and I'm very grateful for it. 826, 943 in sudden death overtime. Betfas does have both lanes, and of course you see the dual lane pressure created by the split recruits. Not getting the dragons into split lane pressure. And Betfas must be running Fireball, because otherwise I feel like we would have seen a Lightning clear the path there a little bit. These recruits connections are a real problem for Pedro. Monk Reflection slows down the Ram Rider, which is phenomenal. Oh, and the Fireball, the Mother Witch gets stolen. Funky interaction there. Pedro's been just the tiniest bit out of her. There's little, and not even micro stuff. Just little decision, like not paying attention to how a lot of things are interacting. We saw that with the Skeleton Dragon that belched on the right-hand side earlier. We saw that just now with the Fireball and the Mother Witch. 440, 484, 22 seconds left. And now this dual lane pressure from the Ram Rider. This might be enough. This might be enough to win the game, and it connects on top of everything. GG, well played. Betfas sends us to the 5th. Certain songs are much louder. Michael John McCaffrey saying, when were you casting UFC? You must go back and see your work there. Probably seen you before. I never worked for the UFC. I cast mixed martial arts fights. Never worked for the UFC. I worked primarily for an organization called the U of MMA, the University of MMA, that did amateur fights in Southern California. I was the commentator for the first 4 amateur fights for former UFC light heavyweight title contender Dominic the Devastator Reyes. So let me go back. I was going to do this beforehand. Now that we're waiting, let me continue. So there's the Hail Slayton sign. Whoa! I did not realize that light was going to crash in there. That's why I have not been standing up here. Ooh. Did I damage anything doing that? I hope I didn't. I don't think I did, but I might have. Oh, boy. I gotta check on that later. Uh-oh. So someone asked about aces. This disc right here has 2 hole-in-ones on it. It's a double ace disc, which is why it's retired on my shelf now. And there's the Hail Slayton thing. What was your goal growing up? I planned to be an attorney and work in politics for most of my youth. I planned on going to law school and then working in politics for most of my youth and through my college years. And then sometime in my early 20s, I discovered stand-up, which was way more fun. And I realized that I could get paid to talk out loud because I'm good at it, and began pursuing that. And here I am. Hello, am I late to the party? Somewhat late to the party, not dramatically so. We are still in our second of 2 matches today. Set number 3. There'll be at least one more set after this. Here we go. Did Pedro get into the grand finals shock you? Yes, I thought Pedro was going to get out in the first couple of rounds. What's your opinion on jiu-jitsu? Are you a grappler or striker guy? Sean Strickland fan here. Jiu-jitsu's cool. It's certainly a thing you should know. It's a great thing to do to train your body. I got injured a lot. Jiu-jitsu people seem to get injured a lot. Like, torn this, twisted that. Honest, I did Muay Thai and I did jiu-jitsu. I got injured way more in Muay Thai, or in jiu-jitsu than I did in Muay Thai. Getting punched and kicked, I just got bumps and bruises. Jiu-jitsu, I would get stuff twisted and strained and torn. So, separated rib from jiu-jitsu. And I'm not a big Sean Strickland. I don't really like Sean Strickland. I don't like all of the post-McGregor trash talk. I don't like Sean Strickland. I don't like Bryce Mitchell, even though Bryce Mitchell is more authentic. I think Colby Covington is trash. Yeah. Where are you from? I grew up in California. Now I live in Texas. Tossing plastic. What's up, dude? How are you? Come toss some plastic in Texas now that it's too cold where you live. Are there good or 2-in-1? I don't know what you mean by 2-in-1. Wow, completely different career paths. We're very lucky to have you commentating. Yeah, the other career path would have been probably more lucrative, but far less free time and far less fun. And I definitely get a lot more flexibility in my schedule for my family. And again, I get to talk about video games for a living. It's pretty cool. Interesting that Adriel sent that right to the Evo Knight. Thinking about heading that way, checking Charlotte now. Yeah. Colby's post-match interview, I think I've seen in a while. Colby's just nonsense. Do you kind of seem like a Wonder Boy guy? Yeah, I mean, definitely big fan. I don't like fake people in the sport. Right, so loved Anderson, the Diaz brothers, Robbie. You know, I started watching pretty hardcore in like around like 07 or so, 06, 07, when I started really watching. Kind of the end of the Chuck Liddell era. But all these wannabe Connors just bother me. Ports and Horsehead saying, use code RICH. Thank you very much. Betfas is going to need a mistake from Adriel, I believe, to win this one. Do I still want to work for AMG? I do not, but they still represent me as a content creator. They are my management. They help me get deals and stuff. And negotiate deals. I know, yeah, I don't see Betfas coming back in this one. Adriel, 3 ways to win. Much harder for Betfas to get on tower here. He's going to try to outcycle. Little Prince ability should be called. Does he call it out in time? And he does. But still very close. 44 seconds left. If I'm Betfas, my next Evo Firecracker goes left lane rather than right lane. I keep it away from that tower, of course, to not give poison value. But I go left lane and then try to get that Evo Firecracker onto the bomb tower when it pulls the hog. Let's see if that's what he goes for, if or even gets the chance to go for it with the pace that's being put on. Little Prince still on. And that Little Prince staying on that long was a real problem for Betfas. And there you go, GG. Adriel gets it done in the 5th game. Set number 4 coming up soon with match point or match set available for the CALALAS squad. Let's see. Hold on, let me export this. And we can go look at the bracket. There you go. Let's see. Oh, Betfas didn't have Evo Firecracker. What did he have? Did I totally... was my brain just broken there? What was he running? Did he not have an Evo at all? What was he even running for his Evo then? My brain just broke. I totally thought he had Evo Firecracker. Evo Knight. Oh, yeah. Well, bad. Again, I'm reading too many comments. Let me take a look at things. Have you played any course in San Antonio? No, I'm hoping to soon. Closest I played to San Antonio is Flying Armadillo. But I'm taking, like I said, I'm taking my son to his first, to a San Antonio Spurs game in a couple weeks. And we're on the way down. We're going to stop and play Flying Armadillo, the short course, because he plays. Do you have a nickname, Rich? It could be Shades. I'm going to make that a thing. Shades? A little on the nose, but maybe. What do you think of Leon Edwards? I think he's tremendous. And he wins a lot of decisions, which people underrate him, but no, Leon's tremendous. 2-1 on normal prescription glasses and sticking on a pair of glasses. Oh, no, I don't have those. What are you saying about wannabe Connors? Since Conor McGregor became wildly successful by being a massive trash talker, a lot of people have tried to replicate that. Chael Sonnen kind of pioneered that success with getting a bunch of matches that were above his skill level by talking his way into them. And then Conor doubled down on that. And then now a bunch of people try to do that same thing. And they don't, Colby doesn't have it. Colby just doesn't have it. Colby's not that level of a fighter, and even worse as a talker. He's bad at the trash talk. Chael was funny. Conor was exciting. Colby is neither. Colby is just, like I said, I won't even pay for a pay-per-view that Colby gets points on because I don't want to put money in his pocket. He's just a trash human being. So, yeah, all these wannabe Conors. I mean, you know what's worse than a wannabe Conor is a wannabe Andrew Tate. Those are all the worst. I mean, come on. Get out of here. Just be you. But everyone, whatever. They like to they want to copy people who've done it better. Does the Guardian on its own keep the three-card cycle? I don't know that. That's a good question. Does the Guardian... I don't think it does. But that's a very good question. Does the Guardian maintain three-card cycle? That's a very good question. I've never actually thought about that. Any of the pros in the chat know the answer to that question? Yeah, he's playing Evonite. I just was totally out there. Patty's the epitome of a McGregor fanboy? Maybe. What's your favorite card in Clash Royale? The Ice Golem. No, Patty is chill. They just say that because he's Irish. Patty's not Irish. Patty's from Liverpool. Isn't he? From Liverpool? Guardian doesn't keep the three-card cycle. It says he's going to be dead when LP dies. God, good to know. I just never thought about that. Never paid attention to it. Let's go. Next set. 1v1. Pedro can end it here. Adriel's underrated. I think Adriel is respected to the level he is, which is a world-class player. Dude, what is Patty's action? It's as much. It's Liverpool. Right? Isn't he from Liverpool? Paddy Pimblett. English. Yes, definitely not Irish. Pretty sure he's from Liverpool. Or from at least nearby. Hoyton, Merseyside. I don't even know where that is. It's part of the, yeah, it's part of the Liverpool urban area. Great. There you go. I knew it. I redact. You retract your Irish statement. No surprises. Pedro running Mortar. Do I think he has a hog deck in his duel set as well? I do. Even with log being played already. Very good point with Ares. Think about the Guardian as a Skelly from the Skelly King. You have your answer. Good point. I retract my redact statement. Well played. This will be interesting. What is Betfas's breakthrough plan, right? He doesn't have a ton of phenomenal lightning targets. He's really hoping to get lightning on either the mortar and the little prince or the mortar and the miner at some point. Otherwise, this is going to be really hard for him. He can NATO all the tiny stuff in, for sure. Clearly. But Pedro, so far, really recognizing that there's just no reason to give him any lightning value at any time. And so far, Bowler has not been phenomenal against his Little Prince. Bowler counters Little Prince nicely. Pedro's not given opportunities for that. What a cheeky log there. What was that log about? I don't know that interaction. What was that log about? Was it trying to also predict the bowler and get the bowler? It was for Tombstone. Oh, got it. Trying to keep the Skellies from distracting. You can tell how often I play Mortar. I think I've played less than 30 games of Mortar total in my life. And you see that. Good bet from Pedro. Pedro betting that Betfas does not want to use NATO defensively right now. And so just getting a free, totally free minor damage. We need an Andrew guy. Yeah, he's the mortar guy. This is a lot. Pedro cycles well here. And he gets back to a Tombstone, I think. Another Mortar, I mean, yeah. Mortar, one more time. Pedro doing his best with his best deck in a good situation. Game 1. Pedro. Betfas, does he have Graveyard? Lots of goblins, minions, poison, log, all out. Good chance for Graveyard if Betfas has it. He could have a giant Graveyard, no bowler. Doesn't have Splash Yard because NATO's out, so I don't think Betfas has either of those two. Giant Graveyard, no bowler would be real risky to build into a pre-made dual deck set. Zanko saying Graveyard cooking this. If he had it, giant Graveyard, no bowler would be so interesting of a choice to make in this particular set. More likely, Betfas has Royal Giant. I feel like I've seen him play Lava in some duels, though. And both players just chilling on it right now. Is GY Freeze dead? Yeah, it's been dead for a long time. Well, they're just chilling here, and while we're chilling, let me remind you guys, if you are going to try to push Path of Legends this season and need to get to level 15, and you're gonna buy your cards up anyway, use code RICH. I'm not telling you to spend a bunch of money in the Clash Royale shop, but if you're going to, use code RICH, help a brother out. Also, if you haven't yet and you're watching right now, subscribe to this channel. We're here all for 3 more days for this competition, and of course, a lot more Clash Royale esports coming in 2024. And will they play? There we go. Betfas goes recruits. Betfas may be running Ram Rider? Nope. Well, Ram Rider or Loon for Betfas. Looking like RG for Piedra. Oh, interesting. Mother Witch comes out right behind that arrow snowball play. Interesting running this RG variant with the Monk here. And Rage. And those Zappies getting ruined. Tombstone gets there in time. Loon is still was still raged up for a minute, though, and that Loon is going to go ahead and get some real significant damage. I feel like Loon, has Loon been a specific problem for Piedra today? Am I wrong in thinking that? Oh, look at this RG. Look at this RG. Look at this Royal Giant. Look at the damage. Look at the devastation. Piggy's getting through, and that's going to be enough. Fireball is just a moment away. Zappy's down. Tombstone down. Betfas down. Piedra. A second shot at a King of the Hill sweep today. Oh, never mind. That was the 1v1. CHIVAS down. Well done, Piedra. Shot CALALAS through. No surprises here. Oh, here we go. Victory! And there's some cheering sound effects. That's fun. That's interesting. And we'll have the, let me get the, what's it called? What's that thing called that we do? The, oh, that's round one. Let's go to lower bracket is going to be CHIVAS Esports. Oh, here we go. Here's the bracket. There you go, folks. As you can see, Shot CALALAS. It'll be CALALAS versus CALALAS. PUIGINS versus Shot CALALAS in the upper bracket. Round 2. That will be tomorrow. As well as Tribe Gaming versus Team Queso. This will be a whole lot of fun. Back here tomorrow for that one. CHIVAS falls to the lower bracket. Well, I don't know which matchup goes with which. I'm guessing that the loser of Tribe Queso plays against CHIVAS. I think that's how it works. Not 1,000% sure, but I believe that is going to be the path. Yeah, loser of match 4. Yeah, loser of Tribe Queso will play against CHIVAS Esports. Loser of PUIGINS CALALAS will play against Strangers, against the Tikis. So that'll be a fun, man, those matchups tomorrow. PUIGINS CALALAS will be a blast tomorrow. The Tribe Gaming matchup will be a blast. Tribe Queso will be fun. And all that will happen right here on this channel, the most fun place for Clash Royale esports. That's it for today, folks. Again, we're back tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, same time, same place for the rest of these playoffs. So if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. If you're on Twitch, hang out for a second, Twitch. We're going to find someone cool to raid. We'll do our best to find a good raid. If you're on YouTube, though, it's been absolutely fun, and I can't wait to be back here with you guys mañana. That's it. As always, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. Peace. All right, Twitch, hold on. Ending the YouTube stream. Coming back.